Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fireside Cast, where we have the MGE.TF 2v2 Season 2 EU Premier Grand Finals. It's going to be Papa Tense, aka cluX and Tendon, versus Pro Piro, aka X and One Ties. My name's Tcmano. I am joined by Exile in the booth. We've got Jay, aka siyo, on production, and hopefully this is going to be an amazing finale towards this 2v2 MGE season. Exile, how are you doing on this beautiful day for us? At least in North America, might be nighttime for the guys over in Europe, but how are you doing? And are you excited for what should hopefully be an amazing best of three?
Yeah, thanks for having me here. I'm pretty excited. I mean, I don't usually get to watch a lot of MGE tournaments in general, and this is going to be the grand finals for EU Premier Season 2. We have the returning champs, cluX and Tendon, I think, and we have the 1v1 experts, One Ties and X. Shout out to X, similar names. Thought it was pretty funny. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I mean, I'm kind of curious what maps are going to be playing here, and I think they want to get started soon here, so I'm really excited to see how they go, and it looks like they are going live. So without further introduction, let's just go ahead and watch the first fight.
I guess we... Oh, looks like they're maybe just, getting their classes all set up, which maybe gives us a little bit of time to talk about. Actually, no, maybe we are going to go live right about now. But even if we do, I guess I want your input, Exile, as a top level player. What do you think is maybe the best class composition for a 2v2 fight?
Well, personally, I think in the past when I've done 2v2 MGE, I think Soldier Scout is honestly the best. The most fun MGE you can do is honestly double soldiers for both teams, like 2v2 soldiers, That's personally the most fun. But the variance between having a soldier with rockets and having to hit that rocket to kind of decide a lot of fights versus a scout that's just pure hit scan and kind of comes up on pure aim is going to be the most interesting. So I'm kind of curious how these players kind of play it out. And, being MG kind of mains that I see they are, these players have cracked aim, Tcmano, honestly. So I'm kind of curious. I've never seen these players before myself either. I'm kind of fresh to the EU scene in terms of watching, so I'm not really sure. But yeah, I'm really excited to see how these players go.
And I think for this time, this one might be live. It's going to be cluX getting the opening kill. X all by his lonesome is going to be the first one to fall. So it is going to go to cluX and Tendon for the first round. As we kind of mentioned earlier, they are undefeated at the moment. The 2v2 reigning supreme champions from last season as well. But One Ties and X going to be able to even it up and try and use that 1v1 supremacy to try and come out on top, as they do get a very slight lead. And I've never seen this map before, Exile. Maple Pass is what it's called, and it's cool. It's got the little bit of high ground in the middle that the soldiers can jump to. You see Tendon doing that right there, and I imagine getting that early position very, very helpful for your team.
Going to cluX here in a 1v2 does not edge it out here. However, X hits the great shotgun onto him, winning the round here. 4-1 for One Ties and X onto cluX and Tendon. Great bomb coming in from X onto cluX as well, and a rocket to finish off Tendon as well there. So 5-1 again. These rounds are going by super quick. How are they going to have to come up with some sort of counter to the rocket that X are hitting? Actually, however I say that, cluX and Tendon do pick up the round. Great shots being made. Both soldiers kind of starting off with the shotgun just to get that early chip damage. But the damage here is pretty evened out here. One Tie is finding the kill into Tendon as cluX find the counter. So it's a 1v1 versus X and cluX, but X with a great shotgun accuracy there manages to get the kill on the scout. And the rounds are kind of going back and forth here, but with still a small lead for One Ties and X.
Yeah, little bit of a lead. They're going to extend it just a bit more with a nice shotgun blast from X on the Tendon. And X actually doing really, really well at the moment. Shotgun out. One Tie is going to be able to help him finish off Tendon. And like you said, at the moment, they're kind of getting that nice lead and managing to hold on to it. X launched up into the sky. Still shotgun out. Going to be trying to go for the scout, but cluX able to defend himself. Now cluX trying to go for the scout. Oh, one hit point, and then it's going to fall. So 9-2. And it's just cluX and Tendon not really being able to get into this fight. They're able to get an early one, so this should hopefully be the third, but they lose one and Tendon actually comes out. So it is finally going to be the third round for cluX and Tendon, and I'm not sure the map picks and bans for this best of three, but just by what we see at the moment, you would have to assume that One Ties and X, this might have been their map pick.
Great rockets from X again, hitting two good splash directs onto cluX and Tendon while they're standing on their side of the crate here. However, cluX, with the more HP here, could be able to edge out a round here for his team here. Both close HP, but One Ties gets the last shot that really matters there to finish that round. We're on round 15 now. Even HP. cluX getting really low at the beginning here. X with the shotgun and the kill onto Tendon. Round resets once again here. However, the different approach from Tendon, bombing onto One Ties. One Ties able to surf away and kind of make that range away from the soldier. They do get the round. Next mid starts here. Tendon, good rockets again, but cluX almost losing that 1v1 to the scout here, getting really low. 1v1, One Ties versus Tendon, and One Ties cleans up the damage. 14-3 here. I mean, One Ties and X, this must be their best map because they are showcasing some power on this map as we see Tendon and One Ties on this 1v1, but One Ties easily win that with the scout advantage there. And this might end right here soon here, Tcmano.
It could only 5 points away for One Ties and X before they're able to take the first round of this first map. If you're unsure about the format, it is a best of 3, so that's going to be 3 different arenas that they play on, but each arena is its own little mini best of 3, so One Ties and X would have to win 2 rounds on Maple Pass or whatever this autumn festive map is called, and then they would be able to win the map and then go on to a second. But they've still got 4 points stopping them in being able to get this first round. They get one onto Tendon. That's going to be a nice pistol from X, and X actually filling this up with the shotgun onto cluX, and there's only 3 points stopping them. It is so close at the moment, Exile.
That's a great rocket from Tendon onto X. They're cleaning up the shotgun. Another round gotten by cluX and Tendon. So there could be a potential comeback here if they're able to stand their ground on this map. And like you said before, I'm not too sure of the name. It kind of looks like a Left 4 Dead 2 map, honestly. But oh, it looks like they get another round here for cluX and Tendon. So the comeback is possible. 1v1 from cluX and X, or cluX and One Ties onto the box here. Actually, One Ties does get the advantage, does kill cluX. X with the shotgun again. Fantastic shotgun accuracy, killing Tendon. 2 more rounds left for One Ties and X here to finish the best of 3 first round. But it's looking so much domination for the side of Papa Tense. And one more round to decide this. Will they be able to come up with the victory here? Or cluX and Tendon maybe come up with some sort of counter. They do kill X here, and they're both alive. Decent HP, good rockets onto One Ties. Finishing the kill there, 7-19. Another chance at somewhat redemption here. Not looking the greatest. HP onto One Ties, however, is pretty low, and they do get the trade. cluX versus X, all he needs to hit one shot, and he does. So that's that first round of this first map, best of 3. Won by Papa Tense.
Yep, gonna be won by them. The
oh, Pro Pyro, Pro Pyro, my bad.
Pro Pyro, that is the right. Correct one. Papa Tense being the 2v2 squad of a cluX and Tendon, who I guess maybe we have a little bit of a pause here. I thought they were going to be able to go right back into it, but maybe a little bit of a pause or an opportunity for them to catch their breath. But I mean, if you are cluX and Tendon, definitely worth it as a. It was, I think, a lot more dominant than you would assume, considering the fact that cluX and Tendon have been undefeated in the season. And I don't know if there was anything that you spotted, but I do spot something now, Exile. We might have a class swap up. Tendon has gone from Soldier onto Demo. Do you think, I mean, just looking at the geometry of this map and from the little that you've seen so far, do you think that might be a little bit of a boon to them, or do you think they might be grasping at straws?
Honestly, I think they're grasping at straws here. Just by looking at the layout, there's not a lot of like geometry that Demo can really use to kind of hit damage early, other than kind of like air deading on a soldier or a scout. Maybe hitting an air shot on a soldier will kind of make the difference there for the matchup. But yeah, I think soldier was the way to go. I also could see, like, I don't know if they're allowed to play 2 scouts, but I could see 2 scouts also being pretty valid here. But if it's down to 1 projectile, only 1 head scan, then soldier scout's probably better. But we're not really sure what classes they play as like kind of their main suit. But, you know, I do like seeing Demo and MG, so I kind of want to see Tendon do a lot here. Just to point out kind of what we've learned here at the desk. So we have Papa Tense, which is cluX and Tendon. They are the best 2v2 duo, and they're versing against X and One Ties, who are individually the best 1v1ers. So there's a bit of advantage for the side of cluX and Tendon in terms of like their 2v2, but nevertheless, I think the round's already started. It's already going to be 2 rounds onto One Ties and X. The Demo not finding much value there at the end of that fight. We want to see this Demo try to pull out a little bit more damage to make a bit more open space for cluX. Ooh, but One Ties gets the finish there at the end.
Yep, and the Demo not working out. The Demo all by his lonesome is going to go tend not finding anything at all, and he's going to just get rushed by the Scout. One Ties just absolutely running in. Now it's going to be a Scout 1v1 trying to chase each other up and around high ground 4x. cluX is going to get it, sorry. and that is going to be the first round. You can see immediately the swap of Tendon back onto Soldier and already having a lot more impact. Going to be able to get 2 and make it a 5-2 game.
Yep, back on Soldier, back on that powerful pick class for them. Again, like Tendon gets a great rock into X, so we're already looking at kind of that kind of curve already changing there for the side of cluX and Tendon. However, One Ties has some sort of answer to this. Ooh, but great shotgun shot from Tendon onto One Ties. 5-3 this time around, so it's going to be a lot closer than the first round we witnessed here. cluX and Tendon getting to pick up the X. Tendon, great shot to One Ties.
Yeah, really great shotgun shot coming out from Tendon. Now his eyes are focused onto X, and it's actually going to be cluX getting that. Tendon goes in for the bomb, jumping forward, gets a little bit of damage onto the scout. X is going to be able to fall. Tendon now, is he going to be able to hit? He's only at 40 HP, but no, One Ties has the answer. And it's a lot closer than the first round was. 6-5. Tendon launching X up high into the sky, gets it with the shotgun shot. One Ties trying to play around the truck, does fall. 6-6. I think this is the first time it's actually been a tie game, Exile.
Yeah, tie game it is. We're on round 13 here, and this could be the deciding round for who is up in the lead in this map 1 round 2. And it looks like a great start for cluX and Tendon. They do pick up X here. So 1v1 now for One Ties versus Tendon. Just has to reload a shotgun, maybe get some chip damage from across the train. Looks like it will. 6 damage. Does get the kill onto One Ties here with the advantage now in rounds for cluX and Tendon. First we've seen in this best of 3 so far. Great shots from cluX on the X. Tendon with the rocket. He's becoming super important in these fights with these rockets he's hitting. Bombing onto One Ties does clean up the damage. 6 HP on the cluX, but X. Oh, actually, this could be. But the rocket does perfect damage to kill X. Fantastic rocket from Tendon.
Really, really great stuff. Seems like Tendon has maybe just needed 1 round to warm up, and Tendon is absolutely going huge. Getting a couple kills there to get his team another round. Tendon going to be able to trade out with X in the dying moments there, and they have almost doubled the points of One Ties and X. It's only going to be Tendon by his lonesome. Does find one onto X. He's only 3 hit points trying to hide around the crate, but is going to fall. One Ties managing to get that, and they're going to be able to get the high ground early here. One Ties having to play at the low ground. His soldier buddy X as well falling down. They're trying to make their way up. Everyone is super weak at the moment. X with the shotgun shot out. It's actually going to be One Ties getting it onto cluX. X playing around this is going to be able to get it with a nice range rocket. 8-11, able to get a couple rounds there and try to close the gap.
11-8 here for cluX and Tendon with the lead, but they do drop a round just now, the one at Ties and X, so it's going to be the 21st round here. See who can take more rounds off of each other. X is the first person to die, and then One Ties. So cluX and Tendon with another round on the board, showing so much dominance already on this second round. Great shots happening. One Ties is already pretty low. cluX with the counter, however, the HP is draining. cluX actually is in a situation where he can win this if he finds the pick. He does. 17 HP onto One Ties. cluX with enough health advantage to potentially win this. There are no health kits for them to pick up, so every damage is basically permanent. 2 HP dead to cluX. Great shot. Now 13-9. Oh, cluX tried to get advantageous there to run at One Ties, but a rocket coming out of X and a shotgun onto both will finish off them in that round. Next round starts. Great aggression here from cluX and Tendon. I'm not too sure how spawn advantage this map really is, but if there is the same spawns for both, but I saw a lot more, same spawns for both. I saw a lot more like presence on that train on that round from cluX and Tendon than I did in previous round. They really played aggressive there, and then looks like in this round they did the same thing, killing X.
Yeah, gonna be able to get that first early kill, and Tendon following it up onto One Ties. Gonna be 11-14. Once again, cluX and Tendon having control, getting a lot of great spam damage on both of them, but unfortunately just wasn't enough. Gonna be taken down. Gonna be 12-14 now. Tendon shotgunning cluX up into the sky. They are gonna trade. It's gonna be a scout 1v1, One Ties on the low ground. Can he do it? Is gonna be able to clean up cluX, and they're only 1 point away from a tie game. Gonna be 2 little 1v1s happening at the moment. One Ties getting a back up X. Nice upward direct onto Tendon to get that one. Can cluX manage to clutch this one out? Around about 50 HP, but no, is going to get absolutely stun locked by the hit scan. X, nice rocket onto cluX, going to be able to get that one. Upward direct, trying to shoot, see if he can get onto Tendon. Tendon, nice jumping and surfing, but is not going to be able to have enough damage to take down the other scout. 15-14, so close as we enter into these final few rounds.
I'm just kind of staring at Tendon in these rounds. He's doing so much work in terms of the positioning he puts himself in, the rockets he's hitting, and he's honestly winning these fights almost against one-ties. Against a scout is truly important there. However, 1v1 coming out of one-tie and cluX here. We think X here should be able to win, or one-tie should be able to win here in the 1v1, seeing they are the 1v1 player. Can he do it? He actually does. So it really does showcase that talent of his. Right now in the next round, one-tie and X now taking the advantage here. cluX and Tendon going to be a little bit stressed out here for the round takes, but they do even it out again for the third time in even rounds. Bomb coming out of Tendon to get that high ground, but they're standing on the same freight, so they might eat the same amount of spam here. Ooh, X looking for the kill on the cluX. Does not get it. Great rocket from Tendon again. However, one-ties is more HP there, and he does end up finding the kill on the cluX. Again, the advantage of round does go back to one-ties and X, and man, this is getting so close here for both teams.
Getting so close. Oh my god, it's gonna be cluX coming in onto X. Go in 17-17. Only 3 stopping either of these teams, and one-tie is gonna be able to take down cluX. X shotgun out, should be able to get down Tendon, and is going to be able to. So only 2 rounds separating one-ties and X from being able to get a round on this first map here and getting a nice early kill. X following it up onto Tendon, 19-17. If they get one more, they're gonna be able to take this round, and everything that cluX and Tendon did will be for naught, and it is so. 20-17. They're going to be able to take this first map, and I mean, they played phenomenally on both rounds, but you have to say that it was a much stronger performance from a Tendon and a cluX on that second time around.
That second row was actually super important for keeping them in on this map one, but unfortunately they were not able to edge out that victory. So the win does go to X and one-ties, which is very important because remember, if cluX and Tendon don't win the best of 3, they're actually going to go down to a bracket reset where they play again for the title of who's the champion in this season 2. So these wins are going to be very, very important for X and one-ties to kind of stay in this match. So we are going to be going to the next map here, but I'm kind of curious what the class composition is going to look like this time around. I think Tendon, this is a map, I think personally, where demo could work. This is going to be just a normal Badlands mid. No, a lot less geometry though. So, but however, the train on the mid is important. So we could see a potential to demo actually working, even maybe pre-firing those spawns. I'm not really sure if that's a thing on this version of MGE, but pre-firing spawns on demo was a thing in MGE when I was playing it, so maybe it's in this. That'd be kind of crazy though, honestly.
It would be, but we are going to go live, so all of our questions should hopefully be answered. Tendon going to be able to find the one onto X, now in a 1v1 versus the Scout, and it's going to be able to find a nice sticky placement onto one-ties, so that is going to be 2-0. It's going to be a little bit of an early lead for cluX and Tendon having a lot more impact on his demo attempt on this map than previously, and you can see what, oh my, nice pipe on the one-ties as well. So exactly what you were saying, Exile. Demo having a lot more success here.
Yeah, this is definitely something I'm more comfortable with, seeing the demo on these kinds of maps. They did remove the houses though on the map here. Oh, great pipe out of Tendon onto one-ties once again. 5-0 right now, round 6. 4 cluX and Tendon in the lead. Great rockets coming out of X here. Tendon with the pipes though. Is he going to be able to clean up? Oh, nope. X with his prominent shotgun is able to clean up both players. Bomb coming out. X at 8 HP. Great denial from cluX, but the shotgun from X again is able to shut down cluX's advance there. However, Tendon with a lot of HP here could be able to win this if he's a bit of pipe, he doesn't there. This 8th round being played here. Again, cluX and Tendon still in the lead. Demo is looking like a great pick. Oh, great stick onto X there to start. It's going to be up to one-ties with low HP to finish this, but cluX finds a kind of shot there to kill him. And, ooh, but the bomb from X, he does get really low and gets cleaned up by cluX. And I know cluX is actually on the winger, so I'm kind of curious if that's something he does specifically for this map, or it's just his preference. I'm not really too sure, TC.
I would be very interested if it is. Hopefully it is just his preference, but actually Tendon with a nice couple of stickies onto one-tie is going to be able to help get another round 3-7. You would assume that maybe it is map specific because in MGE where you want all the DPM possible, you would assume that pistol, the regular pistol, is the best, but I don't know. Maybe there's something that one-ties knows that we don't, but hopefully he knows how to pressure Tendon and able to get this kill, because it's going to be a 1v1 between the two of them. Tendon just walking forward is going to go to the low ground and does fall. One-ties able to get that 4-7. Super close, but at the moment it seems like cluX and Tendon just being able to have a little bit of a marginal advantage, but Tendon on the low ground just kind of swiveling around trying to see where his aggressions were coming from and is going to get taken down.
is taking a very aggressive stance in these last couple of rounds here, and Tendon being the last one alive, it looks like they're kind of just ignoring him and going for cluX in the early rounds, kind of isolating the scout, making the demo kind of useless towards these ending fights in a 1v2. Kind of just avoiding him at long range. Ooh, that pipe though onto one tie. They cannot avoid that, however. X with 12 HP. So it must have been a really bad start for the side of X and one ties that round, ending out kind of Soldier at 12 HP on the floor. Another bomb going out from X onto cluX, but he does not find the kill onto cluX. As Tendon and one ties find the 1v1, but cluX is able to finish off the kill there. 9-6 in terms of cluX and Tendon's advantage. Bomb coming out of X. I think he got air shot there. cluX, however, being cleaned up by his shotgun again. God, he must have thousands of kills in that shotgun because he's kind of massacring them with it. But and again, these rounds are going to be very close again as the rounds come back into kind of an even stance for X and one tie. They only need 2 more to kind of even these rounds out. I think they're about to get another one here on Tendon, unless he can say something about it. 10 HP, he will not find the kill, and he does end up dying there.
Yeah, it would have needed a miracle from Tendon, but we've seen some really great shots from him so far. No bombs immediately this time from X, instead kind of just playing his own side, and it does work. Baits cluX in, and Tendon realizes there's not much left for him, so he does fall. Tendon walking forward, trying to press the advantage with cluX. And yeah, X again opting not to bomb, just maybe waiting and see if someone can walk towards him. Maybe have a little bit more success than immediately going for the bomb and being able to just preserve a little bit more health, as they're just kind of playing the spam game at the moment, just waiting for the other team to slowly initiate, and it seems to be working out. They've managed to tie it up, so maybe they found a strategy that can help them out here.
Yeah, I know it's a lot more passive approach here, however, I think the aggressive one was working a little bit better for them in the mid-rounds, because as they are kind of keeping the advantage right now, they're kind of keeping it pretty even, so if cluX and Tendon can find some sort of answer to their passive playstyle, they might be just coming out on top here. One tie's playing that long-range pistol, so they can't even approach him. He knows how to play against that long-range demo class, or kind of mid to close-range demo class. Every pistol is actually connecting on one tie. He was full HP for so long, but cluX with the great shots to finish him. As X alone on his side of Train, cluX and Tendon, both 48 HP here, gonna just need to hit him one more time at 19 damage to kill him. Stick would have killed him, cluX with the finisher. Again, still down in rounds for cluX and Tendon, but I'm seeing a little bit more of a comeback here. Tendon with a great sticky onto X. And one ties alone, double sticky again onto one ties. Great stickies coming out of Tendon again. Now the rounds are even, round 25. Well, they're going to be a little bit of a change in pace here for X and one ties. They're going to keep playing their side because it's kind of looking wrong, kind of looking bad for them right now. As one ties goes down to 19 HP, great sticky out of Tendon, and again the stickies are hitting from Tendon. And both the Soldier and the Scout on the side of X and one ties are just kind of scavenging for whatever damage they can, and honestly, it's not working out for them.
No, it isn't. You'd have to say maybe, I do agree with you, there's maybe a little bit of a benefit there from X and one ties playing a bit passive, but as you said, cluX and Tendon seem to have been able to counter-adapt the adaptation from X and one ties. Now we are in a Scout and demo, a long-range 1v1. Tendon hiding behind this little silo or hoodoo just to see if he can maybe get a sticky onto the Scout. One ties trying to dodge it while close the distance. Doing, oh my, Tendon with a nice sticky onto one ties is actually going to be able to get it, and that's why you fight till the last moment. And one ties tries to rush forward. Actually, nice kind of two-tap on the cluX. Faces actually gets Tendon as well. So one tie's clutching up there in that 2v1.
Yeah, actually finishes off on a crater onto the Tendon there, but he doesn't finish them in that 1v2. 8 HP out of cluX, 2 HP on X. Who will die first here? I mean, they're just kind of scavenging for their life here. Oh, but cluX finds the drop onto X. One ties has not even been hit though. 106 HP, does find both. Next round starts. We're in now round 29. Rounds are getting so close to the 20 mark here for both teams. Ooh, but Tendon finding the great stickies onto X. Again, a situation Tendon has been in so many times. He just needs to hit one pipe onto one ties. Is he going to be able to hit it? Ooh, but one ties with the movement is able to dodge at 5 HP. No stickies are landing. Just one hit scan, and there it is. The one shot onto Tendon there for one ties. Does get the kill here. 15-14 for X and one ties to be in the lead by one. Bomb out of X onto cluX. Will he get the kill though? I don't think he will. Yep, does end up dying to Tendon's roller. And now it's going to be a 1v2 for one ties, and does get cleaned up by cluX. Evened out rounds again. These rounds are going to the wire for both teams. And right now we're looking kind of the standard gameplay coming out of X and one ties. Playing pretty passive with the shots connecting, but not for him. cluX and Tendon getting the pick on the X early here. One ties, 38 HP. Very healthy from cluX and Tendon here. Should be an easy round here as long as he doesn't get beat shot by, but one ties both times. Does not here. cluX getting the round. 1 round advantage again. We're seeing a small advantage here. Oh, they're all just fighting on the floor this time around though. And this is going crazy.
It is going crazy. Tendon, the lone player on his team, once again trying to see if he can hold it out. They're all pretty weak. They're one pipeable, but he can able to connect it. He hits one. Can he get the other? One ties, 4 wrapping around. No, is going to be able to defend himself. So 16-16. It is so close down to the wire. X going in for a bomb, pretty far away from the rest of the fight, leaving his scout all by his lonesome, but it doesn't matter. One tie's going to be able to get one. Can X clean it up with the shotgun out on the low ground? Gonna have to try and dodge all these stickies. Tendon playing up high. He knows where the soldier is. He's gonna be, hits a little bit of damage, down to 25 hit points. They're all so weak. Just one pipeable, one stickyable, you'd have to say, but Tendon at 4 trying to see. He has a sticky right there. He can't hit.
No.
So he's gonna have to go down. Maybe a nightmare for a demo, but he gets a nice air sticky onto the soldier of X, and it's gonna be able to help take him down. And now another 1v1 demo versus Scout this time, and Tendon makes quick work of it. 17-17. It's just, they trade rounds back and forth and back and forth.
Ooh, great pistol from cluX there with the winger. That's kind of the difference between a pistol and a winger. At close range, the winger is actually a lot of damage in such a short amount of time, where it actually came pretty valuable right there. 23 HP on one ties, but and it has to hit one shot. He does! That means, though, actually, it's so important that he got that round there. They're still going to be in the lead. X going for the bomb. Ooh, bomb doesn't look too strong for the side of X. cluX finishing the kill with 11 HP, though. Tendon's going to have to chip him a little bit more. The damage to sink it off by cluX. Just the kind of chip shot to finish him there. 1 round left for cluX and Tendon to be able to take this first round and second map. Damage onto one ties. Tendon getting really low. 8 HP on one ties. Will they be able to clean up? They will. It's that first round of the second map actually going to cluX and Tendon. Very close though, 20-17. But the demo showcasing how important it is for this matchup on this map.
Yeah, there were so many moments where Tendon was able to just get a lot of early damage or win a lot of 1v1s and kind of play that space really, really well, kind of working out for him. So I would assume this is maybe cluX and Tendon's map pick. If not, they have definitely made the most of it and have been able to deliver a much closer game than what we saw on the Autumn one. And I do wonder if X and one ties are going to go for any type of change-up. Seems like they committed to playing passive. They did end up swapping it up a little bit, having X bomb a couple times. And do you think that's maybe the right play? Maybe to try and keep cluX and Tendon on their toes, have X bomb 1 round and then play passive the other, so cluX and Tendon can never really be quite sure of what to expect? Or do you think it's maybe better to just kind of go consistent, keep at one thing, and hope that it works?
I think it's good to be kind of random a little bit of times. Like, there are going to be some situations where, you know, X kind of bombs at a certain timing, maybe if the scout or demo aren't looking at him. But as I say that, we're going into the next round here, and it's, actually, they might have changed something a little bit more here. X looking for the bomb a little bit early, gets denied, though. Actually, I think he bonked his head there on cluX, so his kind of strafe didn't really go anywhere. One ties should be losing this, and I think they're going to try to be more aggressive this time. In general, I think that's the idea. Yep, X bombing it immediately. Looking to find the kill onto cluX, as I kind of expected. However, Tendon is kind of just ignoring it, but getting damage onto the scout. So as long as he's going to hit the scout, that's so worth it. Kind of walking forward onto their train. X looking for the bomb on the Tendon. Doesn't get a lot of damage. He does get damage onto cluX, and able to crater him or finish him off there. So it's a 1v2 for Tendon against both players. He actually could potentially win that if he hits 1 pipe each, but nonetheless, still a round advantage for cluX and Tendon here. cluX immediately dying to X's bomb. Great rocket again onto Tendon. Now that round are evening out. Great bomb again from X onto cluX. Getting that initial kill. Tendon should be the cleanup here. 20 HP. There's no shot he wins up. He does hit a pipe at the end, so it was pretty close.
Yeah, X going in for another bomb onto cluX, and actually getting it piped down by Tendon. cluX and Tendon going to be able to equalize it up. X going in for another one, landing on the demo. Shotgun out. It's going to get piped just a little bit. Takes a little bit of damage, but shotgun out. Going to be able to make work of Tendon now. It's going to be him versus cluX. Both super weak. 28-3, and but X going to be able to win that one. So the bombs seem to be working out a little bit more. X finding a little bit of success and a lot of damage that he's able to clean up, or one ties is able to assist with. Now, shotgun out, it's only going to be Tendon on demo. He's very, very weak. One ties is one pipeable, but X a little bit more so, and they are playing so far back, just whittling down this poor demo's hit points until they're able to get the round 5-3.
Yep, X coming the early kill here to cluX. as One Ties is 8 HP, but does find to kill the Tendon. A full health cluX against an 8 HP One Ties. It doesn't seem very winnable here. A bomb coming out of X. No value with this bomb, however. They're going to Splash Rock on the Tendon and cluX there, so a small amount of damage, but Tendon with a great sticky onto One Ties to finish the kill there. Even round again, round 11 here. 5-5 for both teams. Ooh, great stickies from Tendon there. I don't even know if One Ties was kind of aware what was happening there. Kind of just got caught off guard. X bombs the other side of train. Does get really low though, but tries to find his kill. He did not. Kind of down to One Ties in a 1v2, but cluX with a great shot onto One Ties to kind of fish him off there. They're going for the kind of passive approach again here. X looking to just play on train, and there's the toss that we were talking about. He kind of decided to play passive on his train and find the kill onto a pushing scout, and he gets the kill pretty easily actually.
Yeah, and now it's going to be 7-6. X going to be opting to go for the bomb. Nice rocket, actually,
Fantastic
onto
rocket.
cluX. And now cluX is super weak. 1 hit point is going to be easy pickings for One Ties. So 7-7. Now we have another bomb from X. Not going to find nearly as much. cluX and Tendon making quick work there. So it seems like they are just kind of altering it up, but a nice stickies on the falling spot of the soldier. Going to be able to take down X. And now One Ties tries to make something, isn't going to be able to make something out of nothing. It does go down 9-7. So a little bit of a lead for cluX and Tendon. You can see they have swapped it up, like you said. X now playing a little bit more passive, forcing Tendon and cluX to kind of close the gap and close the distance. They are going to be able to take down the soldier. Can and One Ties do anything here? They're both super weak. Going to be able to find one. Has a little bit more health to play with right now. And actually, was that...
Oh, just go on.
Oh, that was a kill bind. That's interesting. I think that must have been an accident.
I think it was on purpose. I think he knew he didn't really have any space to win that, but there's always a chance, you know, there's always a small chance, as they say. So in this situation, One Ties didn't combine himself there. He looked for the opportunity, did not find it. Then he gets the kill. 2-round advantage here for cluX and Tendon. X walking forward, trying to find the kill on the cluX as fast as possible, but does not get it. Kind of a passive approach this time, but this time Tendon kind of just walks forward onto the other side of train, locking them in Valley and in that shithouse as they are running back into Valley, but cluX looks for his target, he finds it. 47 HP on One Ties. All he needs to get is one stick on him or just a pipe. Should be able to finish this round off, but for a Scout v demo, I mean, all you gotta do is just pistol him from this far away. That's exactly what One Ties is gonna do, and he does it pretty convincingly. 11-9 for cluX and Tendon. Aggressive stance again. X is kind of getting obliterated on his side of train now. It seems to be they're just going to be pushing him non-stop, but One Ties hits his shots, and that's all that really matters.
Yeah, it seems like they are doing really well to kind of identify X as that first pick. Going to fall down onto the low ground. cluX going to be able to get that one now. It's only going to be One Ties. Easy work for the duo. And 10-12, at least for the meantime. It's only going to be X all by his lonesome, as the scout One Ties wrapping around trying to go through the enemy team shithouse is going to find a scout, is going to lose that 1v1, so it's only going to be X. Is he going to be able to clutch out and go for an amazing 2-for-1? Not going to happen. So 10-13. Opting now the bomb, the passive strat not working out. And he's going to be able to get a lot of damage onto Tendon, takes him down, and this could be a first round in a while for them, 11-13, so maybe having the soldier go for that aggressive bomb a little bit more successful, but going to be playing around his shithouse, goes for the bomb, onto the scout, doesn't really find much of anything, and Tendon with a nice pipe onto One Ties, makes it 11-14.
Yeah, sometimes a soldier bomb could look pretty weak. It's just kind of a timing thing and how easy he can hit the first rocket with the shotgun sink, but some of these rounds it's kind of hard for X, but there are other rounds where he's able to really do that damage and get those picks he needs, and sometimes even in those early rounds he was able to get 2 kills just by himself, honestly. But in this round specifically, I think One Ties kind of outplayed both of the scout demo on the other team that round. So clean round coming out of One Ties. As the round starts into the next round, Tendon and cluX trying to go aggressive, but I think they mistimed their aggression together because they kind of just let X bomb through and get the kill onto both of them there. But again, the same strategy from cluX and Tendon. They just gonna walk forward. Ooh, 1v1 One Ties versus Tendon, but this is a full health Tendon versus One Ties. All he needs to do is hit one sticky. These stickies are the hardest to hit, honestly, but he knows he has to hit the pipe, and he did. Great pipe coming out of Tendon as, you know, again, X is playing kind of behind his train, looking for the timing to walk forward, and he didn't find him. He didn't find the trade onto cluX, so it was pretty valiant effort there. One Ties with the pistol. 2 pipes are going to be hit, and he doesn't hit them. As this is 16-14. Rounds are creeping up by X and One Ties, so there could be a comeback starting.
There could indeed be as we get down to the final few. And gonna be Scout on the low ground. One ties does find one. Is he gonna be able to find the other? Tendon super weak. He's putting up a little bit of sticky, some defenses, but it's not gonna be enough. 15 to 16. So closing that gap, just albeit a little bit slightly. X with the bomb gets a little bit of damage on the one ties, or sorry, onto cluX, and follows it up with the shotgun as well. Tendon gonna be over and taken care of. So 16 to 16, super duper close as we get into these final few rounds here. Gonna be Tendon being taken down and cluX as well. So 17 to 16, X and one ties take the lead. Only 3 stopping them from taking a round on the second map. X going for the bomb, not going to be able to find too much, is going to die to a Scout, and 17 to 17, it's just going back and forth and back and forth. Exile so close.
He'd rather going so to the wire too. One time in a 1v2 here, however, it is winnable for him if he can somehow manage to kill cluX, but cluX knows he cannot be pushing him here with the amount of HP advantage he does have, and he does clean up the kill towards the end there. Again, 18 to 17. Bomb coming out of X this time around. He does not find his target though. 44 HP on the floor. I mean, what can you really do as a soldier without the gunboats here? 8 HP gonna go down. Will he find the pick though? However, cluX actually dies to one ties. So one ties with the salvage there for his team. Sticky's gonna have to be hit by Tendon if he's gonna find a chance to win this, but one ties knows he just has to pull out the pistol, find those kills wherever possible, and it's now tied round 37 here. It's so close. We're going to be reaching the final rounds here and see who can really come up. But again, we said they crept up in rounds. It's so close now, and honestly, it's anyone's game.
It is anyone's game, and Tendon hoping that it's his game and going to be able to find some type of damage on the one ties. One pipe would do. Not going to be able to connect it. One ties with the pistol does get it. 19 to 18. Are they going to be able to close it out right here? X and one ties playing their side of the map, forcing cluX and Tendon to come forward. cluX does find one onto X, but one ties falls right back up. Tendon super weak. One ties is one pipeable, but one ties with the long range pistol is going to be able to get it. And so that means that I think we're going to have another round of Badlands Middle City variant, as this second map is going to go to its third round, and the winner of this is going to win the second map. And if it is X and one ties, I do believe that we are going to have a bracket reset.
Absolutely, yeah, there is a potential bracket reset, so cluX and Tendon will have to kind of step it up in this round, but I think it's already started. We're already in round 2, and same class setup as last round, so we're gonna see, you know, Tendon taking that aggressive approach on demo. I don't think he's gonna play on soldier this game, so it's gonna come down to kind of cluX and Tendon to hit their shots, and X still kind of look for those bomb timings, but that one he just kind of spammed and hit his rockets there. That's kind of sometimes all you need. But one time, take that early damage here. X looking to counter off the damage he's taking, kind of make him a little bit of breathing space. He just needs to hit the shots to kind of clean out a kill here. He does not. Tendon and cluX up with the advantage in this round 4. Great bomb coming out of X onto cluX here. Getting the rocket onto cluX's head. Tendon now falling to the ground, trying to find the kill onto one touch, but does not find it. Evening rounds here. Tendon getting aggressive. X falling to the floor, maybe trying to hit a rocket as he falls down. Did not find it. One ties alone on his side. Great pipe coming out of Tendon. And a follow-up onto X. Great pipe to hit to be in the advantage. Good. They're in the green now. They just have to kind of keep pushing this advantage that they have. Great kill to start onto one ties and a crater. cluX getting the kill onto X. This is a great start.
Yeah, really, really great start. Tendon doing a lot of work, going to be able to find one onto X. Now, I find another onto one ties as well. Tendon coming in very, very hot in this last round of the second map. Is just kind of idling actually while his scout dies, but it doesn't matter. He's just sticky ready to be able to take down X. So maybe a little bit of thinking here for one ties and X to try and see how they're going to be able to punish this demo, or maybe get on the cluX early. Tendon super weak. X with a nice shotgun shot to be able to get that kill, and a rocket on the cluX as well. So 3-6, half the score of cluX and Tendon, but X doing a lot of damage on the Tendon is going to go down to him. Can one ties clean it up? No, is going to fall 7-3. One ties immediately going to the low ground and kind of playing around. Is he going to be able to find something here? They do have the help of X, who's on the high ground trying to take down cluX. Are their combined forces enough? One ties is going to fall. Is X going to be able to get this one? No, cluX goes in for the double, 3-8. And that was just some amazing movement and damage right there coming out from cluX.
Yep, great movement coming out of cluX. And this, oh, he gets to pick onto one ties in the other shithouse and finds the kill on X from Tendon. 9-3. I didn't even look at the rounds here, but cluX and Tendon are so aggressive this round. They're able to get their rounds. One Tie's just playing the range again against the demo. That pistol is just going to chip him down slowly and slowly. All One Tie's needs to do is not miss all of his clips there, but he doesn't. Gets the pick on the tendon. X playing behind the train again, kind of looking for a pick on the pushing scout. He's pulled out a shotgun though. He's great shotgun accuracy, so honestly he could just win that 1v1 against the scout just with his shotgun alone. But this time around he hits the rockets that matter the most here on the cluX. cluX going down to 48 HP with the shotgun. He should be able to finish the kill. Both sides, both HP on cluX and tendon are red. He does end up dying here, but with the advantage they have a little bit of bleeding they could do before it becomes kind of closer. But all in all, I mean, the advantage they have is pretty substantial.
Yeah, it is a little bit substantial of a lead at the moment that cluX and tendon have. The X and One Tie is going to be able to whittle it down just a little bit, 6-10, but they've got to do a lot more if they want to try and get this to a round reset, and then even after that, a win in the 2v2 MGE Grand Finals. As it's just going to be One Tie's taken down by Tendon. Now onto another round. You see Tendon walking forward, getting a lot of damage actually onto X. cluX going to be able to help clean that up. Now it's just going to be One Tie's dodging around the stickies. Going to go forward. Actually, really great stuff from One Tie's. Is he going to be able to win this against cluX? No, is going to get shot in the back and taken down 6-12. Double the score of X and One Tie's for cluX and Tendon. Now Tendon on the low ground. He's a little bit weak, but so is One Tie's. One pipeable, but can he make this pipe connect or a sticky? Either will do, but he's playing the range super well. Had to dodge that sticky to make sure he didn't get taken down by it, and he is playing this exactly as a scout should. Super far away, forcing that demo into awkward positions, making it 7-12.
However, Tendon pushes him into a corner there with the stickies, and cluX is able to find the pick onto One Tie's. This is a situation where demo can just be so strong, kind of trapping off your exits, pushing you into a corner for your teammate to clean up, and that really mattered the most there, because cluX was able to finish the round for him, 13-7. Tendon and cluX probably feeling so confident right now with this round, but you know, again, all it takes is kind of one mess up in tempo, and it could really shift onto X and One Tie's. But you know, the round's creeping up slowly. There's always around a 5-round difference between the teams, so if we can keep that kind of going for cluX and Tendon, I mean, it's just going to be an easy victory. Oh, they run back up into the same corner. Tendon with the damage kills both One Tie's and X, as, again, the strategy kind of is still in play. X playing behind the train. One Tie's kind of playing that pistol at mid long range here. Ooh, great shot from X onto cluX, however, Tendon with the cleanup. One Tie's with the great shots onto Tendon to finish the round there. Again, 5-round difference. They're kind of trading back and forth here, so if it's onto X and One Tie's, they're going to start doing something a little bit different. They kind of grasp at more straws here, get those rounds closer. But at cluX and Tendon, looks like they have the counter, and they have them all figured out, honestly.
Really seems like they do. It's going to be X trying to fight the demo, but he's getting shot in the back by cluX, and they're all super weak. This is technically doable for One Tie's, but not when there's a stick at your feet. Tendon going to be able to take him down. Now X going in for the aggressive bomb onto cluX is immediately going to fall. cluX on a little bit of a 5K, so that's going to be kind of indicative of how cluX and Tendon are doing at the moment. Is going to get shot down by X, so a little bit of a turn of fortune for the 1v1 duo, as they still got 7 rounds stopping them and just being tied up. Tendon nice pipe onto X, but is going to get taken down. X coming in for the bomb is going to be able to get a little bit of damage in the back. cluX super weak on the low ground, just trying to find the scout. 2 1v1s happening on opposite sides of the map, but X and One Tie's winning that as the 1v1 Lords.
Absolutely here. Tendon and cluX finding the kill on the X here. So it's a great pick to start. One Tie's even HP with both of them, but it's a 2 versus 1. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to find the pick, but he finds the pick onto the scout. The most important pick, honestly, there in this situation with 5 HP. I mean, if the demo has some sort of hit scan, it'd be such a free win for him here. But with just a sticky and a pipe, at this range, it's almost impossible. I mean, all he has to do is just dodge with his pistol out and find the kill on Tendon. But Tendon knows that, so he's trying to trap him off, play his angles. But One Tie's knows he's so low. Tendon is so low behind that train. He just needs to hit 1 bullet at any range and he'll die. Oh, that sticky's probably the death to him. It is. X looking for the bomb here. Doesn't get any splash rockets, however. Creating that space, preventing him from jumping on that train is crucial for these rounds. And then Tendon gets cleaned up by One Tie. One Tie's activating here, and we gotta take a look at this guy. He might be in full focus mode to clean out this round if possible. And all he needs to do is just get, you know, 6 more rounds, and I think it's turned into a bracket reset, so they really got to lock this in just a little bit more. X with 2 HP. Oh, almost.
tried to go for the skills stick shenanigans. Not going to work out. X going to be bombing onto cluX. Not going to find enough there. It's only going to be onto One Ties playing the low ground, but he's got 2 people in his face. Going to wrap around through Shithouse or fake it. Now going to come back over on the low ground. He takes a little bit of damage, takes a little bit more, is going to fall 14 to 19. If cluX and Tendon are able to win this, going to be able to win the second map and take us to a third before bracket reset, and they do. Just like that, they are able to win out on Badlands Middle City, and we're going to be going over onto Gully Wash Middle rework. There's one thing I do love, Exile, about these MGE tournaments is just looking at all the different variations of kind of a classic MGE maps and classic Sixes map, kind of reimagined in a new way.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of these pro versions of other maps, kind of popular maps being played, you know, even in the competitive formats, but also just in like these types of ammo mod kind of tournaments like this. And, you know, honestly, I feel like this map's just like well done and well made because Badlands has a lot of kind of problems with it. But this kind of reimagines the map itself, and I really enjoyed how they kind of utilize each part of the map. But yeah, we're on map 3 now, so this is going to be kind of the one to take the marbles or the one to kind of keep them in the game here. Remember, if cluX and Tendon lose this third map, we will be going to a bracket reset, which kind of goes back into, I think we're going to play the exact same 3 maps. So we are now on the, I think this is Gully Wash Spire mid-fight redone, kind of a redux. So this is my, when I was starting out in the game, Gully Wash mid was my favorite map personally. So really? I'm really excited to see how this is played. Yeah, it's just like Gully Wash is such a great map to play in Sixes, but it's also just like a, I don't know, it's just a fun map to play Soldier on too. But I don't play Soldier. I play Demo, but and Scout. But again, this is a great map, and I think we are now live in map 3.
We are indeed, so we'll have to see. It's going to be cluX and Tendon getting the first kill onto One Ties. Is X going to be able to clutch up? No. So they are going to be able to get the first round, cluX and Tendon. Now it's going to be X bombing that Spire, getting a little bit of high ground and a little bit of positional control. Very weak, though. Tendon is going to go down, and X with the wraparound going to be able to help take down cluX as well. So going to be a tie game for the moment. One Ties pressuring the advantage on the Tendon. Going to do a lot. But it's going to be X, the first one to fall. Instead, he's going to have to take care of this Scout, but he's super weak. Both of them are. This is doable for One Ties, but unfortunately, the cards were not all there. X goes in for the bomb. Shotgun outs, immediately gets hit by a pipe by Tendon. cluX has a Scout in his line of sight. Tendon's going to be able to make short work of X, and now cluX is going to be able to take down One Ties. One Ties takes down Tendon, but cluX immediately avenges his fallen teammate 3-1. And it's looking like cluX and Tendon, at least for the moment, are trying their best to hold off a round reset. Or bracket reset, my bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of lingering in the shadows of that bracket reset is so kind of hard to play around. I mean, you don't want to be the team with the advantage and then have to get bracket resetted on. And the other team is kind of pushing at that the entire time, so both teams kind of keep that on the top of their mind here. However, this map was looking pretty even. Again, a Demo versus a Soldier is a hard matchup because once the Soldier finds room to kind of walk at the Demo, it's kind of easy pickings, but it's going to come down to the Scout 1v1s like always here. cluX losing to One Ties, not 1v1. X finding the pick on the Tendon. Now evening rounds, round 7 here. Who will take the advantage after this round? Sticky's all over the point here. Tendon rocket stab. Sticky jumping away, but actually finding the pick on the One Ties as well off the Sticky. Great damage and great picks. A lead taken back by cluX and Tendon. I think One Ties' game plan here is just to try and 1v1 cluX wherever possible here. He's keeping his HP pretty high so he can always win out that 1v1, but cluX finds the pick at the end of the round. I should eat my words there. I mean, cluX kind of dominated that round by himself there, so good one, cluX. Advantage still on the side of cluX and Tendon in this map 3.
Oh, nice sticky from Tendon onto One Ties to be able to get the kill. And yeah, 3-6, double the score. So cluX and Tendon doing their best, going to be able to find an early kill onto X, another one onto One Ties, a little bit late to the party. Now, we can see not a lot of bombing coming out from X, just kind of waddling up on that added ramp on this version of Gully Wash that you don't have at in the actual Sixes version. So not having to jump up and lose a lot of health if he doesn't want to, but it's not still working out. They're going to find one onto cluX, but he is weak. Tendon, I've seen him win these fights before, has done really well these kind of high pressure situations, but is going to fall this time around 4-8. Getting one, closing the gap just a little bit, but still cluX and Tendon with the round advantage and also kind of the ground advantage right now, both on the high ground. One-Ty's playing below, just playing super far back, kind of playing that passive style that we saw last time. X is going to fall. Now, is he going to be able to clutch out here? He's super weak, only 7 hit points. Easy pickings for cluX with this pistol.
Yep, the advantage is looking pretty good for cluX and Tendon. One-Ty's and X haven't have to come back from this. However, they do pick up a round just now, so a little bit closer in terms of the round attempts. One-Ty's is looking for these really strong flanks to find picks onto cluX or Tendon, but it doesn't look like he's able to. With the vision that Tendon has, he's able to just trap him off and keep him at bay, while cluX is able to kill X. cluX finding the pick onto One-Ty's immediately. I think that was just a 2-shot. I don't even think Tendon hit him at all, but 11-5 here for cluX and Tendon. Huge lead, bigger than we saw last map even, and I want to see how X and One-Ty's are able to come back from this. Ooh, great shot at cluX to start. And with the, so was that 2-pipe? I think that was just the 2-pipe onto One-Ty's. And all that needs to happen is X hitting a small little shotgun, which he does. And again, we're still at like a 5-round advantage for cluX and Tendon, and all they gotta do is keep the kind of pacing they're going, and this should be a game 1 for them. So let's see how X and One-Ty's are able to come back from this. Great start out here. Some of this should 1 HP. Oh goodness, if he doesn't get it, I'd be so shocked.
This should be 1 for One-Ty's, and it is. Only 1 on Tendon is going to fall. So 7-11. It was 7-11 day a few days ago, so I hope you guys got your free Slurpees, but these guys got more on their minds than just that. X, super weak, is going to go down. Now it's going to be all up to One-Ty's. Super weak as well. 20 hit points, is going to have to try to do his best to chip shot cluX down, but cluX holding his own. Actually, a good attempt from One-Ty's rushing in with the pistol, but is going to be taken down. So 7-12 at the moment. The scouts fighting on the low ground, a little bit of a 1v1, but Tendon and cluX are both going to win their ones respectively. Tendon with some amazing stickies to help out. 7-13, and it's looking really good for them, on track to winning a first round in this third map and making themselves that much closer to being the champions of this season of 2v2 MGE in the Europe region. And Tendon, or One-Ty's, trying to do his best to make sure that isn't the case. Rushes in on the demo, but cluX is right there to help defend. 7-14.
The advantage is only getting bigger and bigger, and One-Ty's and X are going to have to shape things up here if they want to keep this round alive. But, ooh, X is finding the pick on the cluX. I didn't even see how much HP he was. With 20 HP on X, he must have hit a great shot onto cluX there to finish the round. Ooh, as Tendon tries to focus down X here. Great surf coming out of X. Tendon living with 68 HP. He finds the pick onto X. He cuts off the angle there. And he does great damage onto One-Ty's, leaving One-Ty's at 23 HP. But he's always in these situations. Tendon is always a winning matchup for him, it seems like. 14-9. 5 advantage rounds here still for cluX and Tendon. But X alone here in this round does end up getting picked up by Tendon. So the advantage in rounds keeps getting bigger. X with 21 HP does get a great rocket onto Tendon and clean up from One-Ty's. So, you know, trading rounds here, but it's just not enough if they want to keep it in the game. cluX getting really low here. Both scouts very, very red HP, and both projectile classes do know that. Great surf onto the scout. Doesn't get the pickies, is not in a round being given to One-Ty's and X. Again, a little bit of a 4-round, 5-round gap there. And we've seen a situation where they came back from this for X and One-Ty's, but will they be able to do it again? It's going to be very concerning if they can't, or can.
Yeah, it is. Tendon trying to do his best to dodge all the damage headed his way, is going to eventually fall. Now we go into another one, 12-15. So they have done really, really well. X and One-Ty's to close it up. X on the low ground, waddling forward, gets a nice rocket onto Tendon, but One-Ty's is going to be able to clean it up, but dies immediately to cluX. So 12-16, 4 away from each other, and only 4 away from cluX and Tendon, taking a first round on the third map. Tendon with some nice stickies on the One-Ty's, going to make it a 3-point away game for them. Now, they is going to get rushed actually on the low ground. One-Ty's and X coordinating that beautifully. Going to be able to find both of them. So 13-17, staying in it just a little bit, but you got to say that cluX and Tendon have been looking good so far. They are going to get another one, making it only 14-17. It is still doable. Like you said, Exile, we have seen them come back from these types of deficits before, but when you get to these final moments, every round feels that much more impactful.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a 3-round deficit here for One-Ty's and X to be evened out in rounds. Oh, so as I say that, 2 rounds. This is climbing really, really fast. I think One-Ty's and X can kind of see the peak, but cluX and Tendon are only a few steps ahead of them as they take a lot of stance in this mid fight here. I haven't really seen them utilizing the midpoint itself. But Tendon find the stickies onto X. That corner is crucial to put the players in for Tendon. He knows if they're in that corner, it's just only a winnable fight from that angle. Oh, One Tie's eating the early damage. Tendon is getting spammed a little bit hard. He's getting ran up by One Tie, so if it's up to cluX, he can kind of just finish out the damage where it is. Ooh, but X with the shotgun, I would fear this guy with the shotgun out, and he is right to fear him. HP advantage for X and One Tie's here. One Tie's at 3 HP though, so One Tie should know he's gonna die here. He's kind of one-tapping him with the pistol just to get the damage up, but yeah, cluX knew he couldn't win that, so he does kill bite again. 18 to 16. It's anyone's game, like I said before. But cluX, ooh, takes it away from One Tie.
Yeah, that's going to be the early kill, and now it's all up to X, and he's going to be able to find one. Tendon is pretty healthy, and X doesn't have any good way to try and close the distance. He's got shotgun, doesn't have the gunboat, so not going to be able to make that rocket jump, and does fall 16 to 19. If cluX and Tendon win this, is going to be able to take the first round on this third map. And now it's just going to be a 1v1 scout versus demo. Can Tendon find the damage? No, is going to fall. So they're keeping themselves in this, albeit just barely. cluX on the low ground for the hunt on the One Ties, but he meets a soldier, is going to get taken down. Now Tendon, is he going to be able to be the one to send him to winning this first round of the third map? Is trying to wrap around this little point here, the spire, not going to find it. 18 to 19, it is so close. One Ties and X doing their best to try and get this round in their favor. One Ties playing around the little point right there on the high ground, falls down to take care of cluX. Tendon hiding behind the crate there, not going to be able to do it. 19 to 19, whoever wins this is going to be able to take the first round of the third map. Just going to be shooting out stickies. They're both playing a little bit more passively here, no one really committing onto the enemy side of the map, just kind of playing the spam damage a little bit even across the point. One time takes a little bit more damage, is going to be in the red health zone territory. Tendon now mirroring him, and you can see that they are playing this so passively. Exile now finally cluX getting aggressive onto X, is going to find one. It's only going to be up to One Ties. Is he going to be able to clutch it out? Rotating around, does find one. Now Tendon versus One Ties. One Ties trying to see if he can be able to get onto his demo from an unseen angle. Lurking around, is going to be able to make his presence known. Now gets a little bit of early damage, having to dodge all the stickies. Is he going to be able to find it? Just whittling down this demo. We've seen him play this beautifully so many times before, but the damage is so close. Tendon at 3 hit points is going to go down. And One Ties and X, they claw back what was a very big deficit. Exile.
Man, dude, Tendon is going to have nightmares about that scout mid-ranging him and long-ranging him in these fights, man. I haven't seen him win one of those yet, honestly, but he probably has won at least one, but we're already in the next round, and they're not done yet. They want to keep going. The tempo is alive for X and One Ties, but it looks like cluX and Tendon do want to keep fighting this out, so round already started. Round gone by cluX and Tendon as we approach round 2 of map 3 in this best of 3.
Yep, cluX super weak is going to immediately go down 1-1, and X trying to play around the low ground in a little bit of a scrap with cluX. His teammate One Ties is going to fall. He falls almost immediately next, so 2-1, and that's going to be obviously really great for One Ties and X, because being able to come back from those types of deficits is always like a big boost, because like if you get in that situation again, obviously you don't want to be in. As a X with a nice surf onto the high ground, you're going to be able to shotgun down Tendon. But if you are in that situation, at least you know, hey, we've done this before. We were able to close it out. We can potentially do it again. But still, One Ties and X hopefully looking to get into the lead this time a little bit early and be the ones to keep it throughout this second round.
I love watching the projectile classes both just hella surfing off each other's projectiles in these rounds. I mean, there haven't been any like classic kills that haven't gone through those, but I mean, it's always like the MGE thing of like surfing every rocket, and these two are doing it beautifully. So round gone for One Ties and X again, 2-round advantage, so it's 4-2, round 7 here. One Ties is kind of doing the same strategy of kind of pushing below the point or onto the side angles to try to find hit damage on the Tendon and cluX before they can actually, you know, wrap him or do spam on him. So maybe, I don't know, that's my read of the situation. So maybe if cluX and Tendon see the same thing, they can kind of prevent that. But X starting at the round, getting that early damage with the shotgun here. Tendon walking onto the point, barely noticed, however. He doesn't get the damage where it matters. He does actually get the pipe on the X, so it did matter the most there as cluX finished his kill on the One Ties. Evening the rounds out. Round 9 is now, and we are seeing, X bomb into the elbow onto the demo, using surf and bomb onto him. 32 HP advantage for cluX, or deficit, and he does die to cluX there at the end there. X tried his best there, but was not able to find the pick there. Advantage still for cluX and tendon in this round of round 10 actually.
Yep, it is going to be the very, very slight advantage. All of them still alive. I say that tendon immediately does fall, and so does cluX. So now going to be a tie game. X wildly forward, getting a little bit of high ground. cluX going up to try and meet him. Now fighting down on below ground. X still up there. Gets some nice damage onto cluX. Super duper weak, is gonna fall, but it is still doable for either of the scouts. One tie is gonna be the one to clutch it up 6-5, and going in onto another one. X on the high ground makes short work of Tendon, who is trying to waddle his way up there as well, and it's going to be 7-5. One ties and X taking a little bit of a lead, only by 2 rounds, but you know, that could be enough to help them win it. They are going to lose X. It's only going to be up to one ties. Is he going to be able to find one? Does find one onto cluX. Tendon trying to see if he can get anything on the low ground. Is just going to shot down by one ties, 8-5.
He does get the pipe onto one ties there at the end there, but with 17 HP, it's really hard to hit that second pipe on a scout. However, X doesn't see Tendon drop down on him. He gets the pick onto X. Another round gone for cluX and Tendon, but they're actually down 2 rounds right now, which is a different sight to see in the previous rounds we've seen, games we've seen. The small advantage that one ties and X have. See if they can use this advantage to actually edge out a win here, but ooh, actually I see X kind of trying to avoid cluX on the mid. Ooh, great shot into one ties cluX, and he finishes the kill. Wow, amazing shots coming out of cluX to end that round off. Evening rounds, round 17 for both teams. And cluX finding the damage onto X, but with a full health one ties against Tendon. Is it really important there that he didn't go for the scout? He does get the pipe on the one ties though, and him almost actually kills him, but he does find the kill onto Tendon. And, you know, again, Blue's approach to kind of just standing on the point there is going to be really, really important as they do find the pick on the X. As one ties is healthy enough to maybe win this in this 1v2 situation, but he's now down to 7 HP, so they were able to kind of disperse that spam onto him and kind of cut the HP advantage he did have. And the rounds are again even again. We're now in round 19 as both teams playing the same relatively in the previous round, but this time X finds the jump onto cluX. And that's really the most important pick he could have asked for there, something to the scout. As he does get both, so great shotgun shots from X once again.
Really, really great stuff coming out from X with that shotgun, who's using it now to try and pressure Tendon, walking forward, having to dodge for sticky, and is going to be able to help get the kill with one tie. So 11-9, at least for the moment. Going to be trying to go for some long-range trade, but Tendon doing some really great combined damage on the both X and one ties. One ties now on the low ground is going to get shot down, so 10-11 instead. Now, shooting some long-range stickies, one ties and X slowly making their approach. X getting on top of that high ground, as he kind of loves to do, slowly making his way up, is going to take a lot of damage from Tendon stickies as cluX and Tendon kind of reconvene. Now cluX coming back up on the high ground in a long-range spam duel with the enemy scout as well. They're all super weak, all in the red health digit pool, so if anyone goes on a streak, this could be it for them. cluX now here with one touch. cluX does get 2 back-to-back, and that's going to make it 11-11, and a really great clutch up from cluX right there to be able to get that.
A great pipe on, from Tendon onto X there to close out the round there. An advantage now happening for cluX and Tendon, which is the first we've seen in this game so far. They kept it kind of tied with the small advantage, sometimes going to one ties and X, but this time they have the advantage. Oh, this situation happens too often. Can Tendon really pull the tides here and get the pipe onto one ties, who's playing absurdly passive, but it only makes sense in an MG tournament like this. And he does get the kill. And man, as a demo player, that just makes me upset there, Tcmano. I hate seeing scouts do it to demos, but really it's the smartest thing you could do in those situations. But bomb onto cluX from X, gets the damage and the kill. And Tendon with a lot of HP, is there room for him to win this? He just needs to hit one pipe on each player or some stickies. And he does reload a few stickies. Ooh, shoots a ghost behind him. There's no player there. He's going to chase down one ties if possible, hit the pipe. He does not. It was a nice attempt from Tendon, and that situation just seems super duper hard, so nice try. And they do lose their advantage here. One ties and X now up 1 round in round 26, I think. Yep, round 26, and X going for the bomb. Will he hit the air shot? He does not go for it though. He goes for the splash rocket, going for the, you know, kind of easy damage there. Doesn't get the kill, but it gets picked up by one tie.
Yep, going for the confirmed damage. And once again, stuff like that, you can't blame them. There is a prize pool on the line as well as just pride in general. So these players are pulling out all the guaranteed strategies to try and help them win here. One guy's going to find one onto cluX, X going to find one onto Tendon. So 15 to 12. One ties and X in the lead, at least for the meantime, as a Tendon gonna get pressured a little bit by One Ties. He's got the help of cluX wrapping around, but he is gonna fall. Can cluX help avenge his teammate? Is gonna be able to do so onto One Ties, so 15 to 13, at least for the meantime. cluX taking a little bit of early damage, I think, from X instead. Now Tendon walking forward, gets a bit, is going to receive a lot more, though cluX super weak. He wants this kill onto X, but instead is going to fall, and so does Tendon. So 16 to 13, only 4 away from One Ties and X getting around in this third map here, which would send us to a third round on the third map, which would be so hype and clutch if it does come to fruition. One Ties playing around this little staircase here, get some nice damage actually on the clutch, and another on the Tendon. 1-2 tap kind of, and that is going to be 17 to 14.
I think One Ties is kind of locked in as hard as he can be here to keep this game in favor of them and get that round reset, which is what they're playing for here for One Ties and X. X and cluX here in the 1v1. Again, X with the shotgun. It's just so amazing to see how many shots he can hit with that thing. Winning the Scouting one is just crucial when he has the shotgun out. Great damage early for blue team, though. X is on the floor. Will he find the damage? He does find the kill on the Tendon. Last round needed for One Ties and X to win this map pick and kind of confirm that reset in the best of 3. And, you know, yep, killbind does happen for the blue team. So best of 3 won. This first best of 3 actually won by X and One Ties. So we actually are going to go to a bracket reset, Tcmano.
A bracket reset, and I think this is the very first loss that cluX and Tendon have had in their 2v2 MGE season. So that's pretty big in that respect. So even if One Ties and X don't win this straight up, you got to give them major props for being able to be the first ones to take down them, as the server is resetting. So it might be a little bit of time before we go live once again with the continuation of the grand finals. But I don't know, just from your, your brain, Exile, what you've seen, your high level experience, what do you think are the changes that cluX and Tendon need to make to be able to remain the top dogs, the well, not undefeated, but the still reigning champions from Season 1 into Season 2? Do you think it's maybe a little bit better of map picks and bans? Do you think maybe they should try and shy away from the Maple one? Because they did not look like they had a lot of success there, a really good answer to what a X and One Ties were doing? Or do you think it's maybe have a better class composition on those maps if they do play it again?
Oh, actually, we're getting news now. I don't think there is a bracket reset. I think we're done.
Oh,
let's
never
just
mind.
get word from siyo if it is going to happen or not here. But okay, so there is no bracket reset. All right, so case closed. It looks like their first loss this whole season. Okay, we were very confused there. First loss the whole season just happened to be grand finals for cluX and Tendon. So the winners of this Season 2 EU Premier 2v2 MGE.TF tournament is actually going to Pro Hero, which is X and One Ties. So congratulations to our winners. I mean, we were very confident there was going to be a second best of 3 there, but I guess not. So, but I mean, there's your winners. So honestly, the comeback was crazy. I just want to say that keeping the Soldier Scout lineup against all adversary, all the problems and stuff during the game, and then still edging out a win there. Very good. So I liked seeing, X play Soldier. It was really actually entertaining the way he played it. MG Soldier can be very, very challenging to play against scouts in general, but not playing against a Soldier, but playing against a demo. Demos get a lot more confirmed damage against slow classes like Soldiers and like scouts at range. So the way you play that as Soldier can be very, very challenging. And you see some of the best demo MGers in history. Soldiers hate playing against those types of players. So a Soldier being able to win this out against one of the best demo MGers in EU right now is very, very important. And they edged it a win, so I'm really happy for them in that in this map set. So I don't know if they could have made too many changes for the side of cluX and tendon. They kind of pulled out the soldier and then they kept the demo into the last maps. The soldier kind of being the weaker of the two classes on the first map. Maybe if they played demo a little bit differently, it could have worked. But honestly, it seemed like a very one-sided soldier map there, so they had to play the soldier there. But all in all, I'm not too sure they could have anything different there, Tcmano, but it was a GG nonetheless.
Yeah, it was a GG. Very good game coming out from both of them. And yeah, X and One Ties showing up. And, maybe it took a little bit of time for them to get that 2v2 synergy as the 1v1 kind of reigning champions versus cluX and Tendon, who had a little bit more experience in 2v2. But,
There is a bracket reset again. Like, what's happening?
oh,
Okay, so
okay.
there is maybe one.
Okay. Okay, so there is potentially a bracket reset, or at least there should be. There's scheduled to be a bracket reset. Now, maybe the bracket doesn't want to be reset. I don't know. Maybe the players are okay with the outcome, but I feel like if you're cluX intended, you got to know that it is definitely doable. Like, sure, it was X and One Ties coming out on top, but it wasn't like at any point really cluX and Tendon were really without an answer outside of that very first round on the first map of the autumn one. Um, Outside of that, they were very competitive with X and One Ties, even if, like you said, they just weren't able to kind of hold their own in that demo of the soldier matchup. But I think that if we did go again, I think there is maybe a potential for them to just be able to kind of work things out, but it all depends on if there is a bracket reset, because if there isn't, all of this theoretical and hypothesizing is all for naught.
Yeah, it looks like they're getting in servers right now, so we will be playing or watching and spectating another best of three from both these teams. So there's going to be a little bit of a revengeance tour here for the side of Papa Tense, which is cluX intended to kind of come back after their loss here. Now, I mean, being confused like this and not knowing if there's a bracket reset or if there is a bracket reset is a little bit tilting for the players. Like, they could have just been done, right? But now they are going to be going back into the server for another best of three for the revenge chance of winning out this season for Papa Tens or Pro Piro to get what they think they deserve, which is a grand finalist first place finish. And on top of that, some sweet kind of earnings from this. So I'm excited to see how they kind of change it up. And I mean, what do you think is going to change? You think anything's going to change, TC, about the players, about kind of compositions or anything like that? Like any class swap, do you think?
I it depends on if they play the same maps again. I could see. I don't know the the full roster of maps that they have at their disposal to be able to use, but if so, I could see maybe cluX and Tenten trying to go for a different pick bands, or maybe trying to take out the autumn one, the Maple Pass one, because that seemed to be the one that they struggled the most on. It could also be that they were just a little bit not warmed up for whatever reason, because in the second round of that one, Tendon was doing a lot better on Soldier and was having a lot more impact. So maybe it's just a case of just, trying to get warmed up and trying to get into the groove. Outside of that, I would say that I definitely think that they were so close so many times, but kind of like you said, the way that X was playing Soldier, being able to be very variable, being kind of very disciplined and use especially his shotgun a lot, it might be a case of, X and cluX and Tendon just trying to be like, all right, let's focus with Soldier, or on the countersuit, just being like, let's ignore him. Let's try and take down One Ties almost immediately, get a lot of great spam on him, and then the Soldier's just a sitting duck.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, honestly. I mean, when you kind of take a look at the 2v2s, I don't have that much experience in 2v2s on my, when I warm up with my sixes teams, whenever we go to like a LAN event or like, online tournaments and stuff like that. 2v2 can be very much, analyzed as you can see when players know which players are low, which players to ignore in a 2v2, edging out those 1v1s or completely disregarding your 1v1 to kind of confirm a kill somewhere else. And I feel like that's the biggest strength that we notice from the side of Pro Piro, which is X and One Ties. They were able to find the damage where it mattered and get those confirmed kills, especially on the class like the Scout class. If you can really edge out a kill onto cluX on Scout, it's gonna be a kind of the end round always for them to get that round advantage against um cluX and tendon. So if they can manage to kill the scout as often as they did, a demo in a 2v1 is very, very unlikely. So that's what I kind of want to witness more off into this next best of 3. And we're actually going back to Maple Pass, so it's going to be the same mids, same maps. And are we going to see a demo this time around? Maybe, right? And maybe a soldier. And if Tendon can pull out that soldier and kind of do a lot more work they did in that first best of 3 on the first map, we might see a completely different map set kind of turn out, right? It could just end in 2 maps. We're not really sure this time around.
Yeah, not sure. It could be a little bit different. I am curious what your thoughts are on the I'm curious what your thoughts are on especially the Badlands and the Gully Wash kind of refreshes. Like just looking at that, just as a pro player, how do you just I'm curious to know, like, do you think those are like better kind of balanced for everything, like for all the classes and everything like that versus the Badlands mid and the Gully Wash? Definitely seems like it's a lot better balanced for Scout, the Gully Wash one, because that's I have seen demos on Gully Wash mid, but Scouts on Gully Wash mid are very not fun, at least in my opinion. But they opened it up a lot more, and it feels almost a little bit more like a Quake map, especially that Gully Wash mid one. So I think it's really cool. I just wanted to know your kind of opinions on it as a pro player, just kind of watching that maybe potentially for the first time. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're good changes. And when you look at like MG, it's what it in essence what it is, an ammo mod, right? So ammo mods would be like Quake Live tournament, stuff like that. We kind of want to keep it pretty close to the ammo mod kind of style, which is like flat texture, terrain, not as jagged, not as many kind of geometry on the map. Make it so every class has some sort of way of playing it, right? If it was just soldier centric, because it's good for soldier bombs, or like if a demo could just trap out every corridor and choke, like if we go back to Badlands Middle in the most OG version of the map in this best of 3, I can guarantee you it looks so much different in result than if we played the refresh version of Badlands Mid City, right? So hopefully you can kind of get where I'm going with this. Like the lack of the map essence that we have from the original is going to create a lot more variance in playstyle, which is what we kind of want to see in an MMOD tournament like this.
Yeah, it definitely showed out. We saw, definitely X and One Ties doing a lot of different kind of play styles, especially on the Badlands mid. Going aggressive, going slow, forcing cluX intended to kind of come towards them, and it was a keeping them in it. As I guess we have. We have some chat messages on screen. Apparently, Tendon is reinstalling TF2. I don't know if that is true, but maybe Tendon thought that he was done for today. So that's hilarious to see, regardless if it's true or not. Crazy work coming out right there.
Yeah, that is I've seen it happen before. I mean, sometimes you just lose the grand files and you just have to uninstall for a week. It's not permanent usually. It's usually these players come back, but like that was a pretty bad loss, unfortunately. And a bracket reset just sucks. So, but you gotta play for the results still. So he's gonna come back surely. So we'll get back into the service. As long as we get connect. But yeah. Okay, so
Oh.
apparently there's a problem with his reinstallation, so I'm not too sure if subs are allowed, but Tendon apparently will take half an hour to download his game. So if we want to take a break or get a sub in, that'd be cool. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we got. Yeah, that's absolutely criminal if it's taking him 25
That's
minutes. To be
diabolical.
fair, yeah, to be fair, TF2 is a big game. It's gotten big and over the years.
I
That
mean, the
summer
summer update just
update.
came out, yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah, I love
probably
our
added like
gigabytes
a
ever.
couple minutes or something. You got
Yeah,
to get
for
those hats in there.
yeah, but dude, it's such a big game, and this game has been around for so long. It's gonna take a while, But we at least the game is a smaller download size than like Overwatch and stuff like that. So like Apex specifically, Apex is like over 90 gigabytes last time I checked. So TF2 being as small as it is, still pretty good. So
Yeah, Apex is absolutely wild. It is 90 gigs, which is crazy. 90 gigs for an inferior product. I said it. There you go. Hot take. Hot take of the day.
that is not a hot take. I believe there is more work to be done on the game that's 20 years old, but it's okay. Um, You know, that's what is what it is. What it is. The product we have is what we've been playing on. So I guess we'll have to take a break. Are we good for a break here, siyo? Or are we gonna figure it out still? Okay. We're gonna take a small break, but do come back after our break finishes. It should take around 20 minutes, maybe less, and stay tuned for this. Remember, we're playing in the MGE.TF 2v2 Season 2 EU Premier Grand Final. This is a bracket reset, so we're going to be seeing the same maps played, maybe the same players, same classes. So just stay tuned for that. We'll see you guys in a
Hello and welcome back to our continuation of the MGE.TF 2v2 Season 2 EU Premier Grand Final. Papa Tense versus Pro Piro has gone to a bracket reset. Pro Piro were able to win the first best of three, but are they going to be able to win this now second one to definitively be the best of this season of 2v2 MGE? My name is Tcmano, joined again by Exile. We've got Jay, aka siyo, in the booth, and it's going to be a run back. There's 3 maps going that we had previously. We're going to see them all again, and I guess the question is going to be, can cluX and Tendon, undefeated up to this point, manage to come back and win out, or are One Ties and X going to continue their streak, at least for today, and be the champions for this season? Exile, it's been a quite a road. It feels like somehow, even though it's only been one day to get to this point, but Tendon is in this server. He's re-downloaded the game. Hopefully he is locked and loaded and ready to go.
Yeah, this is a quite an eventful last couple hours, but I'm excited to see how this one goes. Like, we had a great best of 3 just before the reset. Got very close. It came down to the wire. So let's see if we can keep it close again, or maybe it could just be a complete stomp for one of these teams. I mean, they're completely warmed up. Well, actually, probably not. I mean, they just took a 30-minute break, but they're no fresh mindset now. We're on the first map again. Maybe we're gonna see some different kind of class lineups here, but yeah, I'm excited to see, you know, maybe a comeback arc for X and One Ties, or we can see cluX and Tendon actually confirm why they are the best team currently playing. But we are live now in the first map, round 1.
Yep, and is going to be both scouts immediately taken down. It's going to be Tendon and X wins that with the shotgun. Something that we saw so often in the last best of 3 was X with that shotgun. Not going to work out there as he gets sent up sky high and taken down. Now cluX going to be able to help take down a One Tie, so it is going to be 1 apiece. We do have Tendon up on Soldier, which he did previously on this map. Every other map he opted to go for demo and was very good at it, but Soldier not maybe as up to par as his demo, but he's going to have to try and make the most of it here in a 1v2 situation. Very weak, having to try and play around One Ties. He was dodging all of his spam very well. X is just there with the shotgun just to add insult to injury, and it's going to be a 3-1. A little bit of an early lead for One Ties and X.
Great bomb coming out of X, and actually killing both the Soldier and the Scout there with a great entry from him. 4-1 for the side of One Ties and X, as cluX tries to find his pick for his team, but One Ties does end up cleaning him up. Tendon with the trade, though, and a 1 versus 1 here. X with 100 HP, Tendon on 2. I mean, these are the situations you just really can't win. He knew that. He killing himself with his own rocket, resetting the round. Another round going to One Ties and X. Tendon looking for the fight on the train versus his counterpart. Doesn't find the clean kill, though, as the round resets into round 8. A lot of damage being traded out. This looking very even. However, X is playing very passive on his side with the pistol coming out from One Ties to clean up Tendon. Will he actually get the pick on the cluX with the pistol? He does not. cluX gets its own pistol kill to confirm a second round for his team, and got non-stop fighting on this map. Really showcases how amazingly fast this game mode really is.
Oh my god, very, very fast down to the wire. It's only going to be cluX. Is going to be able to find one. Is going to find the other onto One Ties. They're playing around this crate, trying to get the damage. A lot more happening onto cluX, and it is going to be One Ties winning it with the pistol. So it is going to be 8-2. Similar thing that we saw last time, One Ties and X having a very commanding lead and presence on this first map. The first round was similar. I don't know if it was as big of a point differential as it is at the moment, but it was kind of similar. So Are cluX and Tendon going to be able to find something and try and come back in? It is 10-3. Tendon up on that high ground, doing a great damage actually on the one ties, is going to be able to get the kill, but X with a rocket immediately takes him out. Now Tendon bombing in. They want to isolate the scout. They do manage to do so, but X is on the high ground. He's got so much more health with that shotgun out, just ready to shoot him down at a moment's notice. A little bit of taunting, actually, saying nice shot from X with the voice line. So maybe a little bit of a BM trying to get into the mental of these players.
He does almost die in that attempt though as well, but they do get the kill and then trade a round afterwards. Another round though just happening for X and one ties. 13-4. This round deficit is ginormous for the side of cluX and Tendon. Will he be able to come back from this? Tendon with a great rock onto one ties to keep it a round closer. With the bomb coming out onto one ties, gets the great shots from cluX and Tendon together with their hit scan. Another great kill onto X, and the rounds are kind of seeping back into the side of cluX and Tendon, but a bomb coming in for both soldiers, and they do win their ones actually. Both counterparts for cluX and Tendon. Oh, great damage coming out of Tendon again. This such the tides are turning so quickly in these rounds. I mean, it's you're gonna start thinking, what is X and one tie thinking right now? They're losing round after round here. cluX had a crazy kill streak. Does finally end up dying to X. Tendon may be able to get a kill of his own. He's not here. X getting the kill, bringing them back. And another attempt to bomb here. I mean, this is a good strategy coming out of Tendon and cluX here. Just keep bombing over and over again and see how many kills you can get. Another bomb attempt going in. cluX getting the pick on the X, and wow, the aggression is working so amazing right now.
It really is. Tendon is having so much success with that bombs, and same thing from cluX. Going to be able to find another, and they have taken what I think was at one point a 12-2 lead from one ties and X and made it only 15-12. So really great comeback coming out from cluX and Tendon. They're going to be able to find one onto X. Tendon just on that high ground, and these bombs have been working like a treat. Going to be going in, not going to be able to find nearly as much damage onto X, but they do find one ties, and now it is only going to be X all by his lonesome. He's got a lot of work to do. Is not going to be able to put in the hours, and it does go down. Now immediately one tie is just getting run at by cluX, and what was looking like, I would say, almost a sure one round for one ties and X has completely deteriorated. It is still doable for them, but it's not nearly as guaranteed as it was. One ties tries to play around the rock, and for the first time cluX and Tendon take a lead, albeit only by 1 point.
The comeback is insane here. cluX and Tendon with the crazy synergy to win out these rounds, but now it's a tied game. Round 33, 1v1 from one ties and Tendon. 10 with full HP. Is he going to be able to kill the scout here with the full load of rockets and the shotgun? Such close HP. Again, one ties have been in a situation. He's played that mid-range, and he does get the kill into Tendon, giving the edge again to one ties and X in rounds. But now it looks like it's going back into an even round setup. And again, X playing very passive on his side, waiting for them to push here. This time around, cluX does become the kill. It was working very good for them when he just continued to bomb, which he is doing again here. Tendon looking for the bomb on the X, but however, he's getting cleaned up pretty quickly. cluX was not able to try to find the trade for Tendon's life there, and it's going to be a very hard thing for him to do this moving forward. Last round potential for one ties and X to edge out this map. Crazy shots being hit by cluX onto one ties. X living here. Tendon with 59 HP was not able to help his teammate, and the round is over. One ties and X coming back, clean sweep. Honestly, not very clean, but a comeback arc nonetheless for cluX and Tendon. Almost made it there.
They did indeed, and that was really great comeback potential from cluX and Tendon, but also great from one ties and X to not let the comeback scare them too much, to still play their game and be able to close it out. Tendon going to go in for that initial bomb, gets absolutely demolished, and is not going to have nearly as much success. It is something to be said that just the way that this map is structured, it is essentially just kind of like a blind bomb for Tendon every single time. I don't even know if he can guarantee which class he's bombing. You just got to go in, make sure that he tries and hits his shots. Not working for these first three, and is going to be going in for the bomb on the scout. Sorry, there was an ice cream truck outside my house, and I don't know if that picked up as a I got a little bit scared there.
No, but the scouts. cluX with a crazy shot into one ties. Great damage, great kill. Hopefully you're not getting too hungry thinking about that ice cream, but a round being given to one ties and X. 5-1. I think there's a little bit of lag for the side of cluX, but we're still playing it out here. cluX on scout, he should be okay. Dude, when X gets in the positions to actually do damage, he does the damage, man. He's doing so much damage here. However, he does get traded or killed there pretty quickly, as the bomb does come in from Tendon. 1v1 coming in from cluX versus one tie to cluX hitting his shots through the lag, I guess, which is perfect to see as a scout. And man, okay, we're in a round situation. We were at the beginning of the first round. Can they come back from this, from cluX and Tendon?
Yeah, it seems like Tendon has moved away from going for the initial bomb. Now it is just going to be X with that shotgun, and he has been so consistent with it. Now, they're trying to play a little bit slower for cluX and Tendon, but it's not working out. It just kind of plays right into one ties and X as they once X gets into that position, like you said, he is so efficient with it. Not able to win the 2v1 there, but it's still a 10-3 lead for him and one ties. He's gonna get bombed. They managed to take down Tendon and cluX as well, 11-3. Now we do see the initial bombs coming out from Tendon, trying to get that initial ground early on, but cluX does fall in Tendon as well. 12-13, bombing the scout. One ties trying to dodge, doing a lot of damage, and they're gonna be able to find two as well. 13-3, 10-point differential. It's looking like this should be a very easy round for one ties and X, unless cluX and Tendon find something in the last moments like they did previously.
They had a really crazy streak in the first round, gathering almost like 10 rounds in a row, but this time around I think there's a little bit of a read from X and one ties and how to play against the aggression that Tendon and cluX do. However, the 1v1 matchup versus cluX and one ties seems very cluX-sided, so maybe that's something we can keep looking forward to fight, kind of seeing if he can keep winning those 1v1s. However, he is met now with a soldier and not really forced to take it. He goes right back into the 1v1 with the scout here and does end up losing it, so it was a nice attempt. He sees the exact same play. However, good damage coming out of Tendon, but sinks damage from both sides of red onto their counterparts. Damage coming out from both sides here. Winning the 1v1 cluX again onto one ties. Tendon, very low HP. X being able to live such high amounts of HP at the end of these fights is the biggest reason why they're staying alive in these rounds and winning out so many rounds in a row.
Yeah, doing really well not to take any unnecessary damage and just be there in the late game. Like right here, he's right there just to help shoot Tendon in the back. Now he's gonna get bombed. Nice air shot. Yeah, coming out from Tendon, but it's not gonna net him a kill. Is cluX gonna be able to clutch up? Does find one, does find two actually. He was so weak there and does clutch up. He's gonna have to do a lot more of that because it's only 2 points away from one ties and X and winning this first map. Only 1 point now. Is gonna get bombed by Tendon, trying to see if he can find anything. cluX does find one. They do find two. They're gonna have to do a lot more of that exile, basically play flawlessly if they want any hope of taking this first map.
And it looks like the first map does actually end up going to the side of X and one ties. So the winners of the last best of three are actually up a map already in the second best of three bracket reset. However, they did win the first map 2-0 in the first bracket reset, which was Maple Pass again. So this is a situation that cluX and Tendon were in it already, Papa Tense. So, you know, they're already prepared for the second map. They know what they need to do. So now they're getting ready for their chance at, you know, kind of a result, same result as the last best of three. So we'll see if they can do it again. Tendon on demo probably in this in the second map, as he did in the first best of three. They were able to edge out a win in that second map previous, and it was very efficient. So maybe he could be able to do the same thing again. X and one ties will be on their same classes, Soldier and Scout, and cluX again on Scout. That's my read, and I'm pretty sure they're not going to change that class kind of line up there.
Yep, it worked at least for cluX and Tendon, having the Scout in demo was enough to be able to send them to a third map in a very similar position last time in this 3-map run. So they're gonna go for something similar. And for X and one ties, it was a very close game, even if, as cluX did mention in the DMs, it was annoying to play against. We'll have to see if even through that annoyance they're going to be able to once again secure victory. It's only going to be Tendon, last one alive in this first kind of battle here, and he is going to go down. So a little early 1-0 for one ties and X on the second map.
I think cluX is AFK right now, so there might be a bit of difficulty for both teams, maybe just for cluX, but yeah, he definitely DC'd here, so there is an internet issue. Maybe there's going to be a reset of this round. They did lose a round, so that's a bit problematic, but we'll have to see how they figure that out. But I definitely think that this map is definitely there's a lot of kind of uncertainty of who's going to win the second map. I will say it was just going to be Tendon and cluX again, but the rounds were so close that last time we watched that it could just go to X in one time. They could just end out in 2 maps, which could be a very unfortunate thing for cluX and Tendon, but you know, a very great thing for X and one times coming out of coming out of that losers bracket.
Yeah, as I guess we are going to go live. I don't know if those rounds that happened previously are going to be counted, but they can't be thinking about that too much as they are in the thick of it. Tendon nice pipe onto X is going to be able to make it a tie game. I don't know if we have word if it actually is a tie game or if it is still a couple of rounds in favor for one ties and X. Okay, so it is going to be tie. The score that we see here is going to be the score. Those first 2 rounds are not going to be counted as it's now going to be 2-1 in the favor of Tendon and cluX.
Yep, same kind of rounds here going out. Tendon and cluX with the advantage here. One ties 14 HP versus cluX and Tendon. Full HP Tendon, but you know, we've seen scenarios where even a full HP demo versus a 10 HP scout basically means even playing field there. X doing his playstyle normally, playing behind the train, waiting for his opportunity to get aggressive, tries to bomb cluX, his shotgun right on his head. With 24 HP, is X able to maybe find a kill onto Tendon? With the shotgun, he might actually be able to do it. 40 HP going down, 35 HP, 13, 1 HP for Tendon. X, all he has to do is just outmaneuver his stickies with the shotgun, and it prongs right on his head to hit the kill, to get the kill onto X. Great sticky coming out of Tendon to get the round here. With the advantage they have, ooh, dies to his own sticky, but a great attempt nonetheless. Good work coming out of Tendon overall.
Yeah, really, really great work, and they just having so much more impact on the demo, especially on this map. Is going to be able to try and help take down one ties, who's dodging the spam very well, but is eventually going to get taken down 5-2. As you can see, X playing passively, now going to go for a little bit of a later bomb, actually gets onto cluX very well and is going to have enough damage to help take him down with one ties. One ties is going to be able to avenge his fallen teammate and takes down Tendon 3-5, so very close. As you did earlier say, this map was extremely close the last time out. These 2 guys, or 2 teams, sorry, did play on it. It is going to be Tendon jumping down to help try and take it down one ties. He's one pipeable, and Tendon does get the pipe, so makes it 3-6.
I think a lot of good demo variants here on Badlands Middle City. As we kind of expected, Badlands demo is very strong in MGE, and he's showcasing it right now in this Grand Finals EU 2v2 against a Soldier and a Scout, which, you know, is a weaker matchup for a demo in realism, but in this MGE kind of game mode, demo is so strong on a map like this, so he's showcasing it right now to everyone watching. It's kind of something people have known about, but again, he's showcasing it. But against a Scout and a 1v1, it is still going to be problematic for him, which he does lose pretty often. Great air sticky onto the Soldier. One ties with 3 HP. cluX knows it, gets the final kill on the cluX. X dropping down with his shotgun, maybe able to get the kill onto cluX, but does not. 7-5, Tendon and cluX in the lead once again, or consistently still in the rounds. cluX trying to find the one with the one ties. He gets the 2-shot though onto cluX with a full HP Scout and a demo with this low amount of HP. I mean, what can you really do? He does end up getting chipped down by X's shotgun, getting the round 6-7 for one ties and X to kind of come close to kind of tying up this game here, but not if cluX has anything to say about it. He does get the round, so there is still going to be that advantage for Tendon and cluX.
Oh my god, that is going to be X launched up sky high, and Tendon does find it, but he's not going to be able to find the necessary damage onto one dice to be able to salvage that round, so it is going to be 7-8. X with the bomb going to rotate forward and actually does crater to his death, so it is going to be a Scout v demo. You've seen this so many times, Exile, and once again, it does seem like one ties is just going to play that distance and slowly chip down Tendon, which he does so. 8-8 tie game. And we knew this was going to be close. It's proving to be close. X with a bomb, very influential one as well, going to help take down both of the 2 guys, cluX and Tendon. Now, going in for another shotgun out at the ready. Gets some great damage, but hits a pipe, or eats a pipe, and that's going to be 9-9.
Yeah, rounds are now evening out for both teams here. Tendon and cluX are in the driver's seat, though, as they confirm an advantage already with the first round gotten in this even fight. Oh, but this fight looking very scarce for both teams here. One Ties down to 4 HP. cluX being at 100 HP here gets the pistol shot onto One Ties to get the confirmed kill. But it is X versus cluX, and X knows he can win these with the shotgun. He doesn't actually get the shot off when he needs to, though, so we will get picked off by cluX. 11-9 advantage for Tendon and cluX here. Surf coming out from Tendon onto the soldier. However, One Ties gets cleaned up by cluX, actually saving his demo's life, and Tendon will help him by killing the soldier in return. Again, cluX with a great shot onto One Ties. He will be fighting the soldier next year with a lot of HP. He will actually be able to kill him there. So 13-9. It's already looking super good for Tendon and cluX, but will they be able to pursue this advantage forward into the end of the round?
Well, with cluX going down, not going to be super beneficial for them. Tendon just trying to dodge and have to keep his head on a swivel as both the players just being able to shoot him down, send him back into another one. Now it's going to be their turn to try and 2v1 One Ties, and they are successful. 10-14, rushing forward. cluX super weak, 4 health once again, but it doesn't even matter. Tendon had stickies at their feet and is able to det them. Now 10-15, rushing forward. You can see they're playing passively. X and One Ties working well. They're able to take down one, and cluX. Tendon super weak is going to go down. X with that shotgun hitting them very consistently. Now, they're once again X playing super passive, not going for the bombs on these past few rounds, kind of baiting Tendon and cluX into them. Not going to work out as he gets wrapped around through shithouse, and cluX finding both there, 11-16. Only 4 away from them getting the first round on the second map.
Yep, 3 rounds now left for Tendon and cluX to confirm this first round in map 2. Lots of early damage coming out from Tendon onto X, getting the kill onto him, and cluX again winning his matchup very convincingly, honestly. He's going for it again here. Kind of his specialty is just running at that scout and trying to find that pick when he can. However, he gets kind of antsy and gets ran into by X's shotgun. So it's down to Tendon to win a 1v2. No, those fights are winnable, but he unfortunately did not win it there. But there's always a glimpse of hope that he can win those 1v2 as a demo. With the multitude of stickies, you can just place and shoot, so... However, cluX does end up getting picked up by X. X with great rockets and shotgun to boot. It is 2 rounds away for Tendon and cluX to win this round, though. So all they got to do is kind of edge out this last couple of fights here. One Ties 14 HP, does end up picked up by cluX. One more round for Tendon and cluX to get this first round in this map 2, which they eventually do get here. So the first round being won by Tendon and cluX in map 2, keeping them in the game longer.
Yep, it does just a little bit. They're going to have to win another one here if they want to win the second map and have any shot of holding on to being the reigning champions from Season 1. As a, oh, that's going to be a nice rocket coming out from X to start things off on the second round of map 2. It is just going to be Tendon walking forward at the scout. Does a little bit of damage, but there was also X right behind him that he would have had to take care of. Now it is going to be a nice early kill actually onto One Ties. X all by his lonesome. Is he going to be able to do anything here? He's only at 42 health, and a pipe to the face is not going to help matters, so it is going to be a tie game. Now X with the bomb onto the demo, going to force him back. Meanwhile, the scouts fighting on below ground. X is actually going to be able to help take down the demo, but cluX does manage to pick out X. They're both so weak, and cluX does clutch up 2-1. Really great stuff from him there, and getting his team a very early fragile lead.
cluX manages to clutch up when it matters there so consistently in these games, and I'm super impressed to see him doing this in this best of 3 already bracket reset. Going for the scout v scout. Will he take the fight aggressively and win it out for his team? He does not, but it was a very good attempt. One Ties confidently dodging his shots there, able to clean up the kill. X bombing aggressively into Tendon here. As I say that though, cluX is now losing the 1v1 against One Ties, so it's a bit of a kind of a table turner there in terms of the 1v1. The Tendon again, 3 HP, gets pistoled down by One Ties. The rounds are certainly still in Tendon and cluX's favor, so there's a little bit of breathing room for both teams still as the rounds just now started. But Tendon with the great sticky onto One Ties, finally winning his 1v1 honestly against One Ties, even though it was kind of, you know, right as his teammate died, but he does end up winning it there. Great pistols coming out of cluX onto X. X with 10 HP. The Tendon does end up getting the kill to clean up the damage. And he does get ran out by both the scout and the soldier this time, but trading so much HP in order to finally kill Tendon that now it's a 1v1 with both players low HP. But cluX knows he's had lower HP, then he does end up dying to One Ties. Rounds still pretty much the same as they were before. Advantage still for Tendon and cluX.
still is now tendon up against the soldier of X. X trying to do his best to dodge all the projectiles, is doing very well, but is he going to be able to get enough damage? He's only at 5, doesn't matter. A stick or a pipe is going to net tendon and cluX the battle going in their way. He's trying his best. He's just lurking around, but he runs into a sticky. Really great sticky from tendon, predicting that beautifully. And now it's going to be 4-7. X with a late bomb, doing a lot of damage onto cluX, but his teammate does fall. Is he going to be able to find anything here? They're all so weak. It could be doable, but not when cluX just runs in and gets a nice meat shot. 4-8. That's going to be a bomb. Once again, coming out from X onto the demo. Nicer from Tcmano on the high ground, but not able to win that one against One Ties. It's going to be 5-8.
As One Ties dies here, another round going over the tendon and cluX for the advantage even further. 4-round advantage for against One Ties and X. Actually, as I said, another round is won, so it's 5 rounds advantage. 10 more to go, and they win map 2 here. One going down by X and cluX here, but however, X is very low HP. cluX taking the final meat shot to finish off the kill. Great showing from cluX again, and tendon with the damage. Great pistol from cluX again. Great pipe coming out of tendon, out of lower. I mean, that was just like a long-range pipe that hits the scout. Amazing shot. cluX becoming a kill immediately here to One Ties, and the pistol coming out as well to clean it up here. Great advantage in round still for the side of cluX and tendon, so they should be able to just kind of ease it back and play their strengths how they have been already, and they should be able to edge out a win potentially here. But if X and One Ties have anything to say about it, it should be here in this round right here.
Yeah, and they're doing really well at making sure that these bombs for X, anytime he does go for them, he's taking so much damage and not able to give a lot out in return. But now it's going to be a 1v1, and once again, One Ties is going to be able to win that. Now X opting not the bomb, just letting the players walk to him. He's on the aggressive, a lot of damage on the tendon. He is going to have to fall into the low ground. Can he get the sticky to be able to do it? No, X with the shotgun is going to be able to close it out 8-14. So still, tendon and cluX in the lead, but a nice couple rounds going the favor of One Ties and X. Now, One Ties up against the demo. Rushing forward, he does eat a bite, but it doesn't matter. He's still got the damage on his side, 9-14. X, good bomb coming in, does a lot of damage, but does fall. One Ties able to clean up and avenge his teammate. Now, rushing forward onto cluX. A lot of damage, but cluX actually getting it really quickly. Gonna make it 9-15.
Yep, this fight's looking very much red-sided here. Actually, One Ties going down to 25 HP. Tendon is, again, a lot of HP himself, but a scout versus the demo, it's very much just a scout's world in these situations. These pipes do miss. One roller could have potentially killed him, but he does end up dying to One Ties' scatter. It's 15-10, though. The rounds are still pretty much in advantage for Tendon and cluX. cluX finally dying here, but however, trading to Tendon. X with 36 HP. Tendon, all he has to do is hit that one sticky or pipe again. He is confirming another round for his team. But with the escape plan, he can really run so fast and just avoid any type of spam from Tendon, which he is able to do pretty convincingly here. And I mean, this is just an annoying situation for Tendon to be in. All he has to do is hit the thicky, and he does onto X. Great prediction of his movement there. X going to get bombing Tendon immediately. Tendon with a great surf, though. cluX with the cleanup, but 4 HP. He's not going to be able to do anything afterwards. One pipe from Tendon will be able to confirm this round, though. It doesn't, though. It doesn't connect as the round starts again. Oh, but a bomb from X onto cluX immediately kills him, and rounds are slowly creeping onto Tendon and cluX from the side of One Ties and X, and it could be... Oh, it's definitely going to come a little bit closer here at TC.
It is going to be closer as we get into the final few rounds of this second part of map 2. One Ties and X have to try and figure out some way to claw back, because Tendon and cluX are only 3 away from sending us to a third map. One Ties in a position he's been in so many times, but is he going to win it? No! For maybe the first time in a while, Tendon is going to be actually able to defend himself and win that Scout v Demo 1v1. Now 13-19, only one stopping them from getting in. They immediately demolish the soldier. Can Tendon do it again, or is One Ties going to be able to clutch out and get in, keep his team in it? He does. 14-19. Every round has so much more riding on it. Early kill on the One Ties might seal the deal, and it does. It is going to be 20-14 as the score as we go in onto a third map, almost a mirror of what happened last time, Exile, in the previous bracket. Or in the previous bracket, and I think, if I remember correctly, Gully Wash Middle was maybe the closest of the 3. If that's the case, we are in for a hell of a treat, as whoever wins this map wins the whole thing. It took a bracket reset to get here. We have gone to all 6 maps technically, 3 in the first bracket, 3 in the bracket reset. But whoever wins this is going to be the 2v2 MGE.TF Europe Regional winner.
Yep, it did go to the wire in that last bracket, map 3. It was down to the 3rd game to secure the win for Pro Pyro last time. But this time around, cluX and Tendon know what they might need to change, or they kind of know what they'll need to change going forward. Will we see the demo again, or maybe we might see a soldier? I mean, Tendon showed a lot of his soldier prowess in that first map. He might be able to do it again if they calls for it, but his demo at the last couple of rounds of that last map was very, very impressive. So I can only say he's warmed up to play some demo, man. He might just do it again. But this map can really go either way here. We're not too sure how either of these teams will change it up yet, but I can only assume that we will see a demo. That's my kind of biggest assumption here.
Yeah, I would imagine so, because I think, of course, we don't really know, but Tendon, at least in my opinion, has had a little bit more impact when he has been on demo and seems a little bit more comfortable in that role versus when he's on soldier. Obviously, could try and shake things up. We saw X have a lot of success and be able to do a lot of really great work getting into good positions on this map, so it's definitely doable as a soldier, but I agree with you that I would be very surprised to not see Tendon on demo, at least initially or at some point in this map, who is the only person we're waiting on, maybe taking a little bit of a bathroom break, as he's now joined in, ready, locked and loaded, fully stocked, got 12 projectiles because he's on demolitions, man, and going to be trying to help his team clutch this out. Whoever wins this wins it all, as we are going to go live.
Yep, this is our last map of this best of 3 here. Round 1, though, so we could see it 3 or a couple more rounds after this if it comes down to it, but this is a scenario we haven't seen before. I don't think we've seen blue attack red from this angle where they're in both chokes, but this time around, X counters and jumps right into cluX's face there, finding the kill. First round going over to X and one ties. I can already tell they're playing this so much more differently, if you can see what I'm seeing, TC. They're kind of taking the space on their own side and playing off that kind of positioning instead of pipe onto one ties. Great pipe, confirming the round. Just playing this completely off the high ground instead of just kind of 1v1ing and running at their faces like they did before off point.
Yeah, they are, and you can even see sometimes Tendon is willing to go sticky jump in and take that little bit of self-damage to be able to get on that hide and be able to rain down projectiles. He is going to be able to find one in X, but he still has to deal with the scout. Actually gets a really great damage onto a one-ties who's now on below ground, trying to dodge around, but Tendon predicts it beautifully with an amazing sticky. It is going to be a 3-1 lead, and it seems like whatever they have talked about, getting this early ground is working out for them. Of course, it was close beforehand. X and one ties are not going to roll over and just let cluX and Tendon take this for free, but it seems like they have a lot more of a fight on hands than they maybe would have initially assumed.
Yeah, these fights are looking way more kind of energetic, as they say, as they're taking the space, jumping forward, not afraid to lose a little bit of HP in the process. But this time around, we're looking at more of a mirrored fight here as they take the side of the point instead. But he actually gets some great stickies onto X at the beginning of this fight here. Sticky plays perfectly to kill one time again. 2k for Tendon to finish the kills. Tendon kind of making this whole world actually right now, but cluX immediately dying to X and one ties at the beginning of the next round here. But hitting some great stickies onto X. X is going to live there with the amount of HP and buff he does have left over. So rounds are now finally evened out for X and one ties versus cluX and Tendon. Round 9 looking very close. cluX not finding the value in his pushes anymore. He's not able to find the 1v1 with one ties. One ties knows he might be able to lose those 1v1s, so he's just going to try and bait it more often. And now he's looking for different kind of lanes and angles to fight in for cluX to kind of do as much as he can.
Yeah, but it seems like they've been able to figure out some kind of counter here to Tendon and cluX going super aggressive, as they've stopped going as aggressive. They are still going to take the high ground, playing around it. cluX very weak already. Now it's only going to be Tendon and not going to be able to win that one. I think just kind of kill biting himself there to get things moving a bit quicker. Now, actually, it is going to be because he swapped off onto Soldier, so we are going to have a little bit of a swap up. I don't think that cluX and Tendon were doing that bad, but they are going to change things. They're probably going to win this first one. It is a 2v1, and they are going to be successful there. So Yeah, Tendon swapping off onto Soldier. I didn't necessarily predict that.
Some great rockets already though onto X as a counter bomb happens. And cluX with 6 HP, will he be able to get the meat shot on the one side? He doesn't here. But yeah, switching to Soldier here was not something we totally expected after the rounds that he's already secured for his team. But he's seeing some great rockets in these fights already. And I actually think that Soldier might have been the play here. As One Ties and X kind of run away for their lives here. Not to eat those early rocket spam to Tendon, but X is taking some great spam himself, evening out the playing field, actually giving his team the advantage and help there. A 160 X with the shotgun is something you want to be afraid of when you're cluX, and he wasn't too afraid of him there, and it cost him his life. 13 HP Tendon, not able to do anything. As the round resets here, what are they going to do in order to kind of edge out more rounds for cluX and Tendon? But X and One Tie just playing that passive way. They're just spamming on their side of the map. One Tie's pistols down cluX, Tendon looking for some sort of push on them. And you can already tell that they're getting impatient the way X and One Ties are playing.
Yeah, they are. They're just trying to... They're kind of getting corralled into this area almost every single time, and Tendon going to be able to win that one with the shotgun. And seems like they're kind of like... It is a very interesting game of, you know, kind of developing a strategy and then developing the counter strategies. Now One Ties and X are now... X going to be able to actually win that one against cluX. It's going to be Tendon versus X. Both very weak. Shotguns equipped. A little bit more health for X, but not necessarily a confirmed win, as Tendon does manage to get it right there. And that is going to be 10-8. So very, very close. And yeah, the Soldier definitely being a boon right now for Tendon. Going in for the bomb with the shotgun equipped. Not going to have enough damage then. I think this should be One Ties and X closing it out. I say that cluX gets 2. Wow, that was a huge clutch up from him.
That was insane from cluX. The pistol coming out, confirming 2 kills in the same clip is absolutely insane. Something you only see at the highest level of play, but good damage coming out from Tendon as he trades his life for potentially another kill, but he is not able to get it as One Tie that actually able to clean up the damage. But the rounds are very close now, so we're seeing a comeback as well for cluX and Tendon, as they were down a couple of rounds earlier in this game, with the advantage at the beginning, but falling off later on. But the rounds are slowly coming back. Tendon winning his 1v1 against X, but with One Tie being 100 HP versus cluX's low HP, it's not seeming like a winnable fight there for either player on blue. Ooh, was that a speed shot coming out of Tendon to bomb the scout? I'm not really sure, but One Tie's going down to really low HP. Does not end up finding a kill for cluX, but the HP discrepancy there was more X-sided. He does get the kill, 14-10 for the side of X and One Ties, as the HP is going slowly down on the side of red. Slowly and surely, Tendon might be able to find a kill here, but he doesn't look like he will. cluX finds the 2 kills he needs to get there. Tendon with the shotgun for range does end up getting the cleanup here. And with the mid control itself, cluX and Tendon will try to eventually advance into the side of X and One Tie's kind of defense, but it's always looking really bad when they push back in. It seems like they're always low amount of HP, but this time they hit their shots and it matters very much so.
Yeah, it does, and it's funny to see how X and One Ties are kind of, oh my, nice rockets from X to be able to get those 2 kills there, but X and One Ties almost kind of immediately at the start of these rounds just kind of rotating over to their left side to be able to try and counter the early kind of mid-aggression or point control, as Tendon with the skill stick out is able to get one onto X, as they're not even really contesting for it. And Tendon has been so aggressive with these soldier bombs, even kind of jumping twice, which is a lot of health drained from him with the shotgun equipped. So being very liberal with his health, and it's been working. They've been closing it up, kind of closing the distance, but it's going to be down to the wire for these last few. X with a nice rocket onto Tendon, only going to be cluX. We've seen him clutch up here before. Don't know if he's going to be able to do it this time. Playing on below ground is going to kill bind and just send us to another round, 16-14.
Now they're so close. It's still anybody's game here as cluX and Tendon look for the push. X and One Ties have such a great defense, but once they find the entry, cluX is able to get to. They just got to find that initial opening, and then they're able to create so much from it. Early damage from One Ties onto One Ties, actually going down to 43 HP, and then loses the fight against cluX in the 1v1. Tendon makes sure he saves his scout so it doesn't become a trade for no reason. However, cluX is ignoring One Ties on the angle he can't really pay attention to. Does get the pick onto X, but with 5 HP, he's not going to really be able to do anything much after that. as cluX and Tendon are able to just stand on the ground on the point. And watching this defense surely is so aggravating, but they are able to just get the kills. If X and One Ties can't hit their shots in that corner, then they're just kind of dead meat. And it looks like they are able to do a bit more damage this time around, but it comes down to the Scout 1v1. Whoever wins this kind of confirms the round here. One Tie's going down to red HP, but the red HP players are going to die first.
Yeah, they are, and it is forcing X to finally start the rocket jump just to get on this high ground a little bit quicker, not be caught up in that corner. It's starting to feel more and more like a mid-fight every single time, Exile, as these strategies evolve. Tendon super weak, as is going to go down with only 8 health, so it is going to be 18-18. Whoever gets 2 rounds first is going to be able to walk away as the victors in the first round of this third map. Tendon and is going to be able to find one. cluX finds one, only 1 point stopping them from getting this first round of this first map, and they find an early one onto X. Is One Tie's going to be able to clutch up here. He's rotating the round. He's got a little bit of help to play with, but not enough, as Tendon with 2 rockets makes it 20-18. And you gotta wonder, you gotta think, I mean, you're a competitor. You've been in situations, maybe not this exact one, but things like this. If you are X and One Ties, you've went through a bracket reset. You have won a total of, let me do the math, 3 maps at this point. It would be so incredibly painful to lose it here, the third last possible chance after all the hard work you've done. How do you stop yourself from not getting too, like, tilted?
Well, you definitely need some time to kind of recuperate and think about the next game, but they didn't really give themselves that much time to kind of reset into the next game as we're talking about, and it looks like they're doing the kind of exact same strategy, so I think they're thinking, well, if we hit more shots here, we're definitely going to win, so that's the kind of motif to go off of in this game. But Tendon is the one that hits his shots the most in that round, confirming the kill on the Scout and getting a cleanup from cluX onto X. So, if anything's going to have to change for the side of Red, X, and One Ties, it's going to have to be not letting them counterplay them the way they are right now. They're kind of giving them a lot of options just by running into that corner, giving them the entirety of the map pretty much to play around. But this round, we see a little bit more variance as X jumps onto the mid-fight and gets the kill onto cluX. But with the pistol from One Ties, Tendon needs to hit a shotgun, and he doesn't hit the shotgun. So a round finally going to the side of X and One Ties. But great rocks coming out of X to start this, and I think they must have heard us there at Tcmano, because they're starting to play way out of their comfort zone, it looks like.
Yeah, they are. X is now jumping to try and take control of that middle area, which is, you know, the typical gully wash middle thing between 2 soldiers. We haven't really seen it so far, especially in the first time we saw this map, but things have been shaken up here. It is going to be, however, X and One Ties back again in this little corner. They are going to find one onto cluX, so they have a lot better chance of being able to take down Tendon than they do. It is going to be tied now 3-3. 3 quick rounds coming back for X and One Ties to be able to keep themselves in this second round of the third map. Going to be rotating back into that little cubby, into their kind of choke point, essentially. Going to be playing around what would be Banana, as it's going to be cluX being immediately traded out for X. Now Tendon super duper weak, but is going to fall as well. So it is going to be X and One Ties getting the lead for the first time in this second round.
The important to note that these players are definitely hitting their shots when they really need to. Like, those very important shots are connecting in like 95% of the time. There's only that small margin of error that we see them missing in them, but most of the time they are connecting their shots, which is very important to see in a grand finals, like an MG tournament like this. As we say that, though, Tendon is failing to hit the rocket, but he actually does hit the rocket onto One Ties. So as I say that, the percentages do come true. Statistics do not lie. As One Ties goes down to the side of cluX's pistol. Another bomb coming out of X to confirm that corner, but I think the spawn side, I think this map is going to be super dependent on spawns for the side of X's bomb. If he doesn't get the spawn he kind of wants on that left side, he kind of just gets stuck on the point instead and gets kind of killed and cleaned up from cluX and Tendon's kind of counter aggression there. So every time we see kind of the spawn of X and One Ties, it kind of depicts how they're going to play the mid. So that's kind of something we're going to pay attention to.
It is. Sorry, I was just going to say they're both crouching behind this crate, both trying to take cover, but One Ties cleans them up 1-2 right there. Going to be 6-7 as X going to be able to get onto the point without losing too much health. His teammate, however, One Ties goes down. Now it's going to be cluX versus X. X, very weak, is going to get shot down 6-8. Going to be able to make his way, jump on top of the point, tries to claim control of it. The classic sorry, not Badlands, Gully Wash Spire moment happening there between the two soldiers. It is going to be the scout of One Tie's super long range, just kind of playing that distance, getting that nice pistol spam in there as a kind of slowly whittling down Tendon. Doesn't have enough hit points to try and jump in, close the gap, and make it a more favorable fight for him. So it's going to be 7-8.
It was a close try, though, from Tendon to kill One Ties at that low of HP. A splash rocket there would have been perfect if he was able to hit it here. cluX maybe going for the kill here. He does not with the hit scan from both One Ties and X. 8-8 in rounds here. We're on round 17. cluX finding the kill onto One Ties. Easy kill, and then Tendon with the cleanup onto X. Great rocket nonetheless. I think cluX's play, honestly, recently has been trying to deny that right side so they can't take positioning to have an easier fight for themselves. Great shotgun, though, from Tendon onto One Ties. It does get shot in craters, but a good attempt overall here. cluX, again, same positioning as last time, but this time he gets more aggressive. However, does not get met with much result. But again, same rollout from both teams. Soldier v soldier this time, scout v scout, and again, cluX finds his man with the 1v1. Always wins those 1v1s when he has the chance to. It's round 21, even rounds for both teams. Again, the 1v1 does happen, but it does get interrupted by X, but Tendon finds his 2. I think Tendon's doing a very good impersonation of what X was doing in the first best of 3. Finding the kind of end of the round kills when they matter, and he's the most healthiest player. And I think this is exactly what he needed to do from kind of the first showing of Soldier, as well as in this best of 3 bracket reset.
Yeah, doing really, really well, but of course X and One Ties keeping it extremely close. Their hopes and dreams on the line here is going to be X backed up into a corner, is going to get shot down 11-13. They've got to try and find something if they want to stay and have a shot at being the top dogs for the 2v2 MGE.TF season. They're caught in that corner. X gonna have to jump out over to safety, get a little bit more space, a little bit more distance between him and the enemy. He finds one on the clux, finds another on the tendon. That's what you like to see if you're him. Now gonna jump up over, try and isolate this scout. They take down clux, really great awareness right there to be able to get him down, take him out of the fight, and it's gonna be a 14-13 game. Once again, X jumping forward. They want to try and help. He wants to try and help One Ties with this kind of 1v1 that cluX is willing to take over in this crowded area. And it's been working out the past couple of times, just jumping over, trying to isolate the scout. But I think maybe they've caught on to it a little bit. Tendon a little bit closer to help out cluX. Able to find one, able to find another, 15-14.
Then he hit some great rockets onto One Tie last round, really confirmed them the victory there. X can't really do much counterplay if his scout's getting kind of directed from that range, and they're capitalizing it really well for cluX and Tendon. But this time around, the HP is looking so close together. cluX with 4 HP gets cleaned up quickly by One Ties. The situation Tendon can't really be the winner in is this fight right here, so we can only assume that he's just going to kill bind soon, or in fashion, maybe just shoot himself, but he is trying a little bit, actually, which is different. But X finds the kill onto Tendon. 4 more rounds for X and One Ties to actually confirm them as the champions, but the counter from cluX and Tendon are able to keep them in the game longer. The rounds are so close, this could be anybody's game still. And I think if X and One Ties win this, it will go down to the round 3, so all they gotta do is 3 more rounds and they can keep playing longer. But cluX finding the entry immediately. Gonna give them another round here. 4 more rounds for cluX and Tendon. They will be the champions, but we will have to see if they kind of want it as much as they think they do. And gameplay, it might show that.
Yeah, they're doing very, very well to tie it up 17-17. This is do or die for X and One Ties right here. They're going to be, once again, in their corners, their side of the map, kind of corralled into it, doing some great damage. They're all so weak. It is going to be cluX only at 8 health, so can't really commit too much to this fight if he wants to try and stay alive and just be a threat. Actually gets one on the One Ties playing around the corner. X only 12. There's a taunt coming out. That's a little bit of disrespect there. And Tendon with the rocket. They're definitely feeling themselves. Tendon and cluX are at the moment, but they're not out of the woodwork just quite yet. One Ties and X still have a chance to try and take us to a 3rd round on this 3rd map. They get a nice kill onto Tendon. cluX is going to fall to One Ties, or sorry, vice versa. But now, cluX actually does clutch out, and this could be it, Exile. This could be the very last round if cluX and Tendon are able to close it up. X and One Ties, they've got to play this perfectly, but losing one is not the way to do it. And just like that, they have won a 2nd round and the 3rd map and the whole entire series. GG's being thrown in the chat as it is going to be cluX and Tendon on top.
Wow. I was expecting a lot more shit talk at the end of that, honestly, but I didn't see any. Just GG's, some good camaraderie there. Because based on what I read, I feel like the gameplay that was matched there for vice versa, it was like X and One Tie is playing very passive, kind of quote unquote not the right way to play, right? And then cluX and Tendon playing that very aggressive aggro, trusting their own DM and each other's DM to kind of win out those rounds. And at the end of the game, I noticed that X and One Ties did this the only time they've ever done this. They were both on the other team's side of the map in their original spawn location. That was the first time it ever happened, and you can tell us because the situation got so tense that they got out of their comfort zone and it ended up getting them killed in the end. And I think that just comes down to that cluX and Tendon were really locked in the whole time. X and One Ties probably checked themselves out immediately after the first best of 3, or even maybe after map 2, because map 2 is kind of a hogwash, honestly. So yeah, you can kind of tell the determination that it took for for cluX and Tendon to really kind of edge out there and win. So GG's to them. I mean, they had a lot going through this whole thing, and watching them win was kind of a breath of fresh air. But again, I think they only ever lost once, and it was in the first bracket reset. So they edging out a win there. It probably made sense to the people watching that they win. So GG's to both teams, though.
Yeah, GG's to both teams. You know, they were undefeated in the regular season and undefeated for most of playoffs. I guess you could still say that they were undefeated because technically this was all one match, even though there was a bracket reset in the middle of it, depending on how you want to qualify it and, you know, mark it down for the history books. But in the main things, cluX and Tendon having a really great season, winning season 1 and now winning season 2, starting to build a little bit of a dynasty between the two of them. But, you know, for One Ties and X, you have to say that they did play phenomenally. If we didn't have this bracket reset for whatever reason, which we always were going to, or it was always scheduled to, but, you know, in that one moment where it seemed like it wasn't going to happen, you got to think like, oh, we won this. You know, like you said, like maybe they were a little bit checked out, thinking, hey, we've done it. We did all we need to do. They weren't so checked out as Tendon, who uninstalled the game. He was probably very checked out. So it's big props to him to be able to check out and then check himself back in a just a few moments, realizing there was still a fight to be had. But One Ties and X, you got to say that they played very, very well. It was extremely close, and it was definitely possible for them to win this match today.
Absolutely. I mean, how do you come back after that first best of 3 where you uninstall your game? Multiple players almost uninstalled their games at the same time, and then you come back and win the whole thing, winning 4 rounds in a row after being down 0-2 in the first map. Like that's a very impressive thing to see. And I mean, it showcases their talents
Like we're
together as a team. But you know, I think they're the 1v1, the best 1v1ers according to like their league in MGE.TF, which is like impressive that they were able to just. Oh no, actually no, they're the best 2v2 duo. So the 2v2 duo won the 2v2, so that makes sense. Okay, X and yeah, X was the best 1v1er part of the duo there. Okay. Yep. So it makes sense though, but GG's nonetheless. And I think, dude, watching cluX play was really impressive, man. Watching good scouts play with such good, you know, momentum, how they play, they hit their shots well. Like that, as a scout player myself, I really respect that. So yeah, I learned a lot from watching this MG Tcmano.
Yeah, you know, the 2v2 MG is always fun. If you're looking at this and you're at all interested, go to MGE.TF to check it out as they've got a lot of great MGE action, both 1v1 and 2v2 in a bunch of different regions. If you're not in Europe and you're like us and you're from North America, don't worry, as they have got a lot of leagues happening out here as well. And I think in other regions, I'm not quite sure, but a great way to know is by clicking on that link in chat. And there was a prize pool as well. I'm not sure how much it was, but a lot of their leagues do end up having prize pools. So if that's an incentive for you, definitely check it out. But, you know, they also got medals, and there's also pride as well, which is what I think a lot of people in this community end up playing for at the end of the day. So definitely stop by there. It's a really great community. MGE.TF has done a lot to kind of you know, put some life into this game and into these game modes, which I think is always great to see.
Absolutely, yeah. I want to thank everyone for watching this match today, and thank you for tuning into Fireside Cast. I think everyone should take a look at MGE.TF for the league as well. If anyone's interested in playing, go ahead and take a look at that. I mean, man, watching MG really inspires a little bit in me too. So maybe I should take a look at doing that as well. So yeah, but GG's everyone. Do you want to take our outro?
Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching the grand finals of the MGE.TF 2v2 season in the European region. It was Papa Tense coming out as the victors, cluX and Tendon winning versus Pro Piro, which was X and One Ties. Very close. It was a bracket reset series, but Papa Tense able to win out. So congratulations to them. And we will see you guys next time here at Fireside Cast for some more amazing high octane TF2 action. Till then, have a great night or great day and take care.